Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The new Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed is the only bed that effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Don't miss our weekend special. Save up to $500 on select Sleep Number 360 Smart Beds. Plus, free premium delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
Jason Minutes, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
Man, we have made it to the end of the week, and it is a Friday. And for a lot of you, the final weekday of spring break, it might be the last dry day of your spring break, looking at the forecast heading into the weekend. Welcome into the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. If you're listening online at ESPNSA.com, we certainly appreciate it. Maybe you're like Vince Trevino watching on Facebook Live. Maybe you're watching on the YouTube channel. Either way, we're glad that you are a part of the show on this great Friday, the kickoff of birthday weekend for one Michael Jimenez, who is in for Rob Thompson. Again, as Rob is continuing his spring break vacation, I'm Jason Minix. You know, Michael, I joked with you earlier. You're like a teenage girl. I didn't realize as you turn 44 tomorrow that you have had like birthday celebrations all week long, and it continues even in the next week. Seriously, man?
Yeah, man. Hey, I think you can celebrate. I'm not as bad as saying that I'm going to celebrate a birthday month or a birthday week, but I think I deserve at the very least, a birthday weekend. And because my birthday is on March 13th, one of the interesting things about it is that last year I celebrated my birthday and it was the last day before all the bars shut down. and now I'm going out tonight, hopefully with you and Pledge, when the bars are opening back up. So this is pretty exciting for me.
Well, the bars are going to be open, you know, and they are open, and a great place like the Rue Pub is open. We will be there later. I'm just trying to figure, do I go 4 shots for you or 44? I mean, you know, how teenager-ish do you or college boyish do you want to look this weekend? You know, are you pacing yourself for the weekend since you're apparently going to go hard all weekend long?
Put him on his butt.
There is no pacing yourself when it comes to your birthday. My wife knows that, okay? She knows that she has thrown parties for me where I have just been blitzed within about 90 minutes. So I don't care if I'm feeling good at 8 p.m. tonight, 10 p.m. tonight, or 1 a.m. It's my birthday, for crying out loud. I can cry if I want to. Okay?
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And again, I would call you a lightweight, but I'm seeing you on the screen. We know that. So 90 minutes, man, you must be going extremely hard if you're going to not. But again, you know, we will get you some birthday shots tonight at the Rue.
I haven't had any alcohol in a month, though.
Oh, yeah, you lost your gallbladder. So this is your first day. So are you celebrating your birthday, or are you celebrating the fact that you've been cleared by the doc?
Oh, the doc cleared me this morning, man. So I can eat red meat again. I can drink caffeine. I can have alcohol. So all in all, it's been a really, really good day. But I tell you what, I am that guy who wants to have this shot at 11:59 and then just celebrate and scream something. But it's going to be a good year. And it's the year of Kunu, man, because like in Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I don't know if you remember the character Kunu, when they asked him, how old are you? And he goes, I'm 44, and then he throws an expletive because he can't believe it when he says it. I cannot believe that I'm 44 years old, or I will be in a few hours. But man, I'm gonna have fun.
Lord, you sound like a All right, man. Whatever. So the birthday boy who, when you think about the advantages of winning Rock the Mic, and you are what, Rock the Mic 4 champ?
Rock the Mic 4, yes, sir.
The advantage of winning Rock the Mic is, kind of like you're doing now. One of us goes on vacation, you get the reps. I look at like RJ Ochoa has turned Rock the Mic into bloggingtheboys.com, kind of a springboard there. Thomas Mott working now in Atlanta. Teague has her own show that she's working, and Brandon Medina, who didn't even win, but he's on the air a lot. But, you get on the air a lot, which is the goal of everybody that wants to be in radio. And your vet move was, dude, I'm going out tonight. I'm not going to do the Saturday morning hangover tomorrow. You were originally scheduled to do the Saturday morning hangover, but you literally are going to be hungover tomorrow morning and want no part of having to be up and on the air by 9 a.m. I get it. So it's going to be James Pledger and Jeff Garcia tomorrow morning instead of James Pledger and Michael Jimenez.
Originally scheduled means that Pledger called me last night around 8 p.m. and said, hey, you want to do the hangover?
That's how it generally works.
Jack wasn't going to be there.
Yeah, that's how it generally works. Is you go, oh yeah, all right, let's see, all right, because you're like coming out of the bullpen. You don't know if it's going to be in the 5th inning, the 6th inning, the 7th inning. I mean, clearly you're not the closer, or we could rely on you for a Saturday morning at the last minute. But at the same time, I mean, hey, here we go. But it's your birthday. You don't want to have to get up early and have to work.
Baby, I was here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. What more do you want from me, my man?
Well, I wanted Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday. I mean, it's spring break. Work 4 days.
And it's painful for me to miss the Saturday morning hangover because Pledger and I, when we go one-on-one there, he psychoanalyzes me. He puts me on the therapy couch, and I absolutely love doing radio with Pledger. He is my, he is somebody that I enjoy being around. And tonight, Brew Pub tonight, that's what it's going to be, baby. That's where it's going down.
What I'm worried about for the Saturday morning hangover tomorrow with Pledge and Garcia is it's going to go really quick from Spurs and sports to nerd and Star Wars and what's the thing that WandaVision or whatever it is. it's gonna nerd out in a probably about 9:10. That show is going to be off the rails tomorrow morning. I'll give it a good solid 10 minutes before it's completely off the rails.
I don't blame him, man, because Quinn and I on the Sunday Sports Grill, we talked about coming to America for 15 minutes last week. So I don't blame Pledge at all.
And again, all right, let's go there a minute, because it's Friday. Why not? You originally said you did not like Coming to America too. And I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but you said that. Now, I've watched it one time, and it is what it is. I can't say I loved it. I didn't hate it. It made me laugh. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be. I watched it. I'm good. Apparently, according to Amazon, it's setting all kinds of streaming records, and now I know why. Michael Jimenez has watched it now, what'd you say, 7 times? For a guy that didn't like a movie, why are you watching it so much?
I think it's because I needed to understand if I didn't like it, or did I just need to have it grow on me? Because at the end of watching it the first time, I'm laying there in bed. My wife looks at me and says, wow, that was a cute movie. And I was just there thinking to myself, are we watching the same movie? Because I was sitting there all disappointed. So I made it a point to watch it a second time. And then my daughter wanted to see it. So it became a third time. And the more I watched it, the more I liked it. Because the more I watched it, I no longer thought of the 1988 classic. I was just enjoying this movie for what it was. I wasn't trying to compare the two. And I think because I tried comparing the two was the reason why I didn't like it the first time. The movie actually is pretty good. It could have been better, but I've now seen it 7 times, and whenever I'm working from home, it's on in the background.
That is just ridiculous, if you ask me, to watch a movie. I don't watch movies generally twice, certainly not in the same week. I've watched movies. I'm not the biggest movie guy anyway, but and horrible with titles and all that kind of stuff. But there was a movie that we watched the other day on Netflix. It's been a couple weeks, and I was about an hour in where I was like, I think I've seen this. You know, you know what I mean? But I can't imagine saying, all right, well, I just watched Coming to America. Let me watch it again. If my wife liked a movie and I didn't like a movie, I'm good with that. We don't always have to agree on everything. Did I laugh and did I turn it off? Those would be the two big questions.
So you're telling me you've never seen a movie a second or a third time and thought to yourself, you know what, I was wrong the first time. You're saying that's never happened. Or you've never listened to an album a second or a third time and liked it better than the first time you listened to it.
Albums completely different than movies, because I'll listen to albums over and over and over again. And, you know, if I don't like a song initially, I'll go back and I'll listen to it a couple times before I decide if I really don't like it. Or, you know, when you're listening to the words, the music, you know, how the drums and the you know, I'm a little bit more detailed in the music than I am with the movies. That's a part of it. Jeff Garcia, look, we could take bets on the over/under. Garcia on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone says, Saturday morning hangover will go into nerd talk after introduction. So he's giving it 3 minutes. I'm still going to go 10. I'm just saying I'll go 10 on that. And it might have to get into nerd talk real quick if the NCAA tournament continues the way the conference championship week has been going, because there might not be a whole lot of games to talk about. Kansas takes a COVID loss today. So Texas and Kansas all set to play tonight after Texas had that thrilling win over the Texas Tech Red Raiders last night. COVID says, Kansas out of the Big 12 tournament. Texas moves on to the championship game by default. Another COVID casualty today. And I tell you what, the NCAA tournament right now is in jeopardy. It really is. I don't know why they don't just pull the plug on these conference tournaments at this point. I know they want to make the money. I know it's the cash grab part of it, but you've got to have 7 consecutive negative tests to get into the tournament. And so the more you keep going this weekend, the chances of another dominant team, they seem greater. I think the NCAA with these conference tournaments are playing with fire. Get everybody to Indianapolis, let them bubble up, and then let's go play. The NCAA tournament was the one big sporting event jewel that we did lose that could not get made up last year. The NBA resumed, Stanley Cup resumed, World Series happened, Super Bowl happened. I don't know if we can deal with another year of no NCAA tournament. And certainly the NCAA wants nothing to do with losing a second year of revenue from the NCAA tournament. But these conference tournaments right now just seem pointless. They really do. Although that Ohio State-Purdue game that just happened that you were listening to here on ESPN San Antonio, we're getting great basketball. I just don't know if it's worth it when you're trying to get to the NCAA tournament. We will get into that. Spurs home tonight against Orlando. They will have fans in the building. We'll talk about it with Jeff McDoald of the San Antonio Express News. Jeff will join us around 4:30. We'll talk more Spurs in the 6 o'clock hour for Game Night San Antonio at 6:30. Evan Closky from Channel 5 will join us. And, of course, lots of news in the NFL. The New England Patriots have a quarterback. Or do they? We'll get into that as we continue here on the Blitz. Now, as you think about restaurants and bars that are back to 100%, a lot of them hiring staff. With that, you need uniforms for that staff. You need to get those uniforms done. Get into Sammy's Embroidery Club over on San Pedro. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on masks, on shirts, on jackets, on caps, on aprons, Sammy has over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Nobody has better prices. Sammy has all the big name brands and is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. If you think about the leagues that are about to get started, if you're a coach or a commissioner in charge of uniforms for Little League Soccer, baseball, softball, maybe your company beer league softball team, get your uniforms done locally at Sammy's Embroidery Club. If you've gotten uniforms done in the past from overseas, shipping delays could cost you. Shop local, shop Sam's Embroidery Club. The website, samsembroidery.com, or go into that massive showroom on San Pedro. It's 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. All items do come with a warranty, and you'll work with Sammy on your project. He's the owner, and he's by his phone right now. Call him 210-824-3900. 824-3900 for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Love the Blitz? Well, why not watch along and interact with the guys every weekday from 4 to 7? You can watch the show live every day at ESPNSA.com or on the ESPN San Antonio Facebook and YouTube pages. Just search ESPN San Antonio and subscribe.
You know what makes every diamond unique and special are its 4 C's: cut, clarity, color, and carat weight. But do you know what makes Diamonds Direct special and unique? It's our own 4 C's. The first C, concept. Diamonds Direct has revolutionized jewelry shopping by eliminating middleman markups and giving you direct access to the world's finest diamonds straight from the diamond cutters. The second C, choice. Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection of precious diamonds is unparalleled. And with over 4,000 designer settings to choose from, you are empowered to make a decision that works for your style and taste. The third C, confidence. With a nationwide price guarantee, free lifetime warranty, our unique 110% diamond upgrade policy, and our no-pressure, no-risk environment, you have total peace of mind. And the fourth C, community. Every year we partner with local charities and nonprofits with significant donations of time, money, and jewelry to make this a better place for everyone. Diamonds Direct, as unique, special, and rare as every diamond in our showcase. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at Lock, Ontario.
Thomas J. Henry recently recovered $20 million for a back injury in a products liability case. If you were hurt in an accident, we can help. Visit tjhlaw.com/radio to start your claim today. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
You decided to upgrade your outdoor deck. So you ordered the essentials: a power washer, a set of patio chairs, and a shiny new grill. And you use your Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member, which you put towards your most essential deck addition, a bird feeder. Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2020 Bank of America Corporation.
Looking for a protein-packed snack to power you through the day? Of course you are. Only Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors that stand out in the Me Too snack aisle. Sea salt and cracked black pepper, pineapple ancho chili, pasilla chili cheese, and more. Take your snacking to higher flavor levels with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And keto fans, you're going to love this low-carb crunch. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rind.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Discover and enjoy your favorite music, news, and talk radio from live stations across the country. Listen anywhere on all mobile and home devices with the radio.com app.
It is the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, ESPNSA.com. Glad to have you along on this Friday. Michael Jimenez in for Rob Thompson. I'm Jason Minix. James Pledger producing as always. Congratulations to the state champion Cole Cougars. Cole, you think about last year, they get to this point and everything gets shut down. No state tournament last year. They battle back and they win the Class 3A state championship about 45 minutes ago down in the Alamo Dome. I heard some rumors that one Shaquille O'Neal was going to come into town to watch his alma mater play, but from what I understand, Shaq did not make it into town. But hell of a run for Cole. They probably win it last year, and we'll never know because of the shutdown. But for them to get back this year and to win a state championship. And it's been a while since San Antonio had a high school basketball state champion in UIL. Congrats again to the Cole Cougars. What a run that was for them. You know, we always say if you call in, we're gonna take your calls on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. And it's Friday. Why not? I know we were going to talk NFL here, but Alex is dialing up the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines, and I'm interested because, you know, when we talk Spurs a little bit later, one of the questions I have is fans are going to be there tonight. If you're going, are you going early? What are your expectations? You know, everything's going to be a little bit different. Alex says he's going to the game tonight. Are you going super early, my man, just to kind of figure out what the new is, what kind of hassle you might have to deal with?
Jason, what's up, brother? Happy Friday, man.
Thank you. You too.
Hey, yeah, I got tickets yesterday for my youngest son and I to go. You know, we're going to be sitting lower bowl. We went and found some tickets, and we just decided it was time to, have a new normal. And, dude, it's been over a year since we've been to a game. So, I feel good about things. My son feels good about things. We both got our first shot. We know the Spurs are taking all the precautions. We had to go and fill out I guess it's a Health Plus thing, just to kind of, you have to basically say you're this, that. You take a picture of your ID and all that stuff. I mean, dude, it's just, you got to take the precautions. But, I mean, to me, it's worth it to be able to see the Spurs again. I mean, that's really, really something we're excited about. So that's basically what I had to say about that. I mean, it's the new normal until things get to be a little bit more, calm as far as the, everything getting back to normal. We're excited about it. But just to touch on one more thing, man, what you were talking about with these tournaments, what makes them more interesting, man, is betting on them. If you can put some dough on them, buddy, that makes them more interesting, brother. I'll tell you what, Jason, I'll tell a pledge, man. I had a parlay, and I took Ohio State laying 7.5, and I had Tennessee laying 4.5, and I was fine because I got the Spurs and I got Utah tonight to cover. I mean, they just got to win. Dude, I was pooping my pants, man.
Yeah, you were.
So bad. Dude, it looked bad. I mean, it tied it, went to overtime. I was like, oh, my God. I said, I done lost that $300. I'll tell you what, man.
I tell you what, I mean, you are right. I think about that Purdue game. Ohio State had such a big lead, and then all of a sudden Purdue's rallied, and it looks like they have a chance. And whew, I mean, I mean, look, if you're going to lay some money on a game, I mean, that's part of it, and that's your interest level because, if I wasn't sitting here at the house, I probably would not be spending a lot of time watching Ohio State and Purdue play basketball. But that was one hell of a game, earlier today, and it was on right here. So, I mean, it really is one of those, it's a fun time of year. I just look at these conference tournaments and wonder if they're playing with fire, knowing that the NCAA tournament is so much more important financially to the NCAA than to these conference tournaments. I mean, when you get Kansas going out the way they did today with a positive test from a player who was in a game the day before, it does make you second guess the need to be able to try to get these all in with such a short turnaround for the big dance starting next week.
Well, that's exactly it right there. It's a short turnaround because, as you mentioned, you need to have 7 consecutive days of negative testing. We're right now, it is Friday. The tournament begins next Friday. Now, there are some that are going to start the first round on Saturday, so they got it right in the nick of time. But if something comes up in the Big 12 championship team, they'll be out. So, and yesterday you were talking about this. You kept bringing this up, and it didn't really sink in as to how disaster could strike, but the calendar did not do them any favors.
If I look at especially those that are playing their championship games on Sunday, but if you're in and you're not a bubble team, your resume right now speaks for itself. If you're Baylor, if you're Texas, right, why go through this? Now, granted, if they went back home, went to campus, they could still catch the COVID. I mean, so I get that. If I'm Scott Drew, I just pack my team up and fly to Indianapolis and bubble up in the hotel. You know what I mean? I know I'm going to spend a month in Indy. What's 3 or 4 more extra days there? Why even worry about going back to Waco? I just think they're playing with fire a little bit there. But, it is March Madness time. The brackets Sunday is Selection Sunday. You can pre-register for the ESPN San Antonio Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge because we couldn't think of a shorter name than the ESPN San Antonio Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge. Perfect bracket, you could win $1 million. Best local bracket at ESPN San Antonio will win you a $100 gift card from Pinkerton's Barbecue. You can get all the details and register at ESPNSA.com. You can go now and pre-register, sign up now, and then Sunday, you go in and you fill in your bracket, or next Monday, Tuesday, whenever you do your cheating, the ESPN San Antonio Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge, brought to you by Pinkerton's Barbecue, because, again, we couldn't think of a shorter name for the bracket challenge. challenge. But it is a fun time of year. We'll get more into the tournament a little bit later. We did want to get into some NFL news and notes. I wasn't surprised, but I was a little bit today that Cam Newton is being re-signed by the New England Patriots. What surprises me is the contract that they signed him to. Now, it's a $5 million base, which is a hell of a raise from what he got last year. But with all the quarterbacks that are going to be available, I thought, and clearly he's not guaranteed to be the starting quarterback. They're still going to go try to get somebody. But if he doesn't win the starting job, that's a hell of a contract for a backup quarterback next year.
Oh, it is. And if they cut him, or they trade him rather, there's only a $2 million cap hit. So, and I'm taking a look at that contract that he has there, $9 million in incentives. So what does he need to do to get that additional $9 million?
Play.
Become a Super Bowl MVP, not going to happen. Make the Pro Bowl, not going to happen. Make an All-Pro team, not going to happen. Now, the one thing he can do to make some incentive money is lead the Patriots to the playoffs. But it's a great deal for the Patriots. There's been all this talk about them going after Jimmy G. But Cam for $5 million, you could do worse.
Well, and again, $3.5 million in guaranteed in your signing bonus, $5 million base. You mentioned all those incentives if he plays well, and for what they got him last year. And I would imagine the second year in a system with Bill Belichick, and he played well early. He didn't play well after COVID. You wonder how much that factored in for Cam Newton. But I am a little surprised that it happened today. I really thought the Patriots might be in on one of these quarterbacks that seem unhappy in their home and end up in New England, because that seems to always be what happens. So who knows? Speaking of football, we have a new arena team in San Antonio. They'll play their first game tomorrow night over at the Rose Palace off of Bernie Stage Road. They're the San Antonio Gunslingers. Around 6 o'clock, we're going to give away not a pair of tickets to tomorrow's game. We're going to give away a pair of season tickets. So if you love supporting local franchises, the San Antonio Gunslingers will play their first game tomorrow night here in San Antonio, indoor arena football. It's going to be a lot of fun knowing some of the guys that they have on that roster, including one former San Antonio talent and Pierre Turner. And again, it's local and it's football and it's a Saturday night, but not a pair of tickets to tomorrow's game. Season tickets. We'll give those away coming up at 6 o'clock. But as we continue here on the Blitz, Jeff McDoald of the San Antonio Express News will be talking Spurs with Jeff McDoald next here on the Blitz. Most of us don't think about our breaks until we need it to think about our breaks. Now, we know cold, wet weather can be hard on your brakes. We're supposed to have some rain this weekend. If your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, go to nubrakes.com and get your brakes fixed. They're a mobile brake shop. That means they will come to you to fix your brakes. They'll come to your house. They'll come to your office. They have Saturday and Sunday appointments. So if you're watching basketball all weekend and you don't want to get off the couch, but you need your brakes fixed, no worries. You're not going to miss any of the action. Guy outside will be fixing your brakes while you're watching the game. And they only fix brakes. So you don't get the traditional upsells that you generally get at a repair shop once your car is on the lift. Most repairs are done in about an hour. They only use premium brake parts, and they do back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. New Brakes provides convenient and affordable brake repairs. If your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, nubrakes.com is the website. Go schedule your repair. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio at nubrakes.com. That's nubrakes.com.
We're number one on Kate Upton's presets.
Okay, we probably are.
But how awesome would that be?
Yes, I was.
Hi, Kate. San Antonio sports leader. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
All day, every day.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all know the sound. It happens. Your phone. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless's new Platinum Unlimited plan includes phone protection that covers those kinds of mishaps. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus more features, like 20 gigs of hotspot and 100 gigs of cloud storage, all on the best networks. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise.
See Mobile Protect terms and conditions at asurion.com/straight talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
Hey, I'm Jordan, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A new Grilled Spicy Deluxe is that cilantro lime sauce that goes on it. That's just an extra kick, a flavor explosion.
Hi, I'm Catherine, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe is the spiciness of the chicken and the coolness of the cilantro lime sauce. It's the best of both worlds.
Chick-fil-A's Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich, available for a limited time only. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Back here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, ESPNSA.com. I'm Jason Minix. Michael Jimenez in for a vacationing Rob Thompson. Spurs home tonight, and they'll have fans in the building as they take on the Orlando Magic. Jeff McDoald of the San Antonio Express News joining us now, who will actually be venturing out to the AT&T Center tonight. Jeff, you a little nervous?
Not nervous. I just driving down here. I'm wondering what I'm doing this for.
Well,
I'm not nervous or scared or anything. It's just a lot of hoops to jump for the media. A lot of hoops to jump through getting there early, going through a lot of stuff just to sit in the rafters basically, and then interview Pop on Zoom. I mean, I could have done it from my house.
Well,
I just kind of want to see. Just kind of want to check out the atmosphere, just the vibe of. I'm curious what 3,000 people in an 18,000 seat arena. You know what I was going to say? I'm curious what 3,000 people in an 18,000 seat arena sounds like. But I've been to an Atlanta Hawks game starting now.
I was going to say. I mean, we've been there. We've seen some teams that don't have the crowd, but there is a curiosity level. That's kind of how I felt going to the Valero Alamo Bowl. It's not like you were going to go into the locker room or be one-on-one in a room with the coach afterwards, but at the same time, just to see how everything actually does work. And I'm very curious to see how things work tonight at the AT&T Center and all the precautions. And, as we get closer and closer to whatever the new normal is, seeing the Rangers say they're going to be 100% opening day, and hearing the president last night kind of give us a target date of July 4th, which, you talk about your Independence Day. But I mean, we're getting closer and closer to that. And there is that curiosity level that I think, clearly you have, even though your post-game stuff. And I think that's important. It's not like you're going to be in a room doing press conferences, even like when they first shifted last year where they were keeping guys 10 feet away. It's not even going back to that point yet.
No, yeah, it's the same pop on my computer that I've been doing from like my couch. It's going to be the same thing, except I'm going to be in the building. And I hope they at least turn down like the music, the PA, so I can hear when Pop berates us.
Yeah, they won't do that. They won't do that. And when was the last time you asked somebody to turn down music? You're not that old yet.
Well, I'm getting there pretty fast, I think.
Jeff McDonald of the Express News joining us here on ESPN San Antonio. Before we talk about tonight's game with Orlando, let's talk about LaMarcus Aldridge and the breakup that we all knew was coming. I think we were all caught off guard when it was announced that he was no longer with the team. But what does San Antonio do next?
What do they do next? That's two different questions, because the front office is going to spend its time looking for, a new home for LaMarcus. And if the Spurs can trade him for something, almost anything, then you do that. And if you can't make that happen by March 25th, then you buy him out. But while the front office is doing that, the players just keep playing. They just play on. It's really kind of a distraction is the wrong word, but it could have been a distraction if the Spurs had allowed LaMarcus to stay around when he wasn't going to really play or be part of the team. So I think in that sense, it was a good idea to sort of make the announcement about what's going on instead of trying to prolong it or deny it or dance around it. So yeah, they'll look to trade him. It's a difficult thing to do, to make any trade in the NBA, but especially this one, because it's not just you can just trade him to someone for a second round pick. If in most cases you're going to have to take back at least $19 million in salary, and the teams that are going to give you $19 million worth of players, they're going to want to give you players they don't want. And if those players are on the books for beyond this season, I don't think the Spurs would want them either. So it's just going to be an interesting needle to thread, in that you have to find a team that thinks it can use LaMarcus Aldridge, wants to would be willing to give up some sort of asset in order to obtain LaMarcus Aldridge, but also has the contract, that will make the deal work without, compromising the Spurs cap space going forward. So it's a lot of moving parts and moving pieces. And I know the Spurs will do what they can. I mean, because you'd rather get something than nothing for him if you can, but that might not be possible. And a buyout isn't the worst thing in the world either.
Hey, Jeff, Michael here. Jason and I were talking about LaMarcus yesterday and how professional he's been throughout this whole process. Were you a little bit surprised, or did you expect Spurs fans to be so, I hate to use the word happy, with the fact that this is all going down, he's no longer with the team, or did you expect something better?
That's an interesting question. It's probably not fair, because most of my interactions with Spurs fans are on Twitter, and I don't know that, just like in all walks of life, I don't know if Twitter really represents real life. You get the more vocal people, you get let's call them the more fanatic people on Twitter. I don't know if the people that the 3,000 people in the stands tonight, I don't know if those people are super happy that LaMarcus is gone, but there was definitely a contingent of them on social media that seemed to be happy. And I feel like he's, it's hard to say. I get some of the criticisms, because he wasn't a player that was going to take you, he's probably not the centerpiece of a championship team, and never was. And I think that's what Spurs fans have become accustomed to having in Tim Duncan. So to criticize LaMarcus Aldridge for not being Tim Duncan is sort of, well, yeah, no duh. It's kind of a no duh criticism. Yeah. Tim Duncan's one of the top 5 players in NBA history. But apart from that, I really thought for the most part he was pretty good for the 5.5 seasons he was here. I went through and was trying to find, top 5 LaMarcus Aldridge moments from his career here, and some of them were obvious, like the closeout game against Houston in 2017, and his big games against OKC in the 2016 playoffs, and his career high of 56 against OKC. But then there was just picking number 4, number 5. There was a lot to choose from. It was hard to pick. There were a lot of, there's a 48-point game. There were a lot of 39. So he had a lot of big games for the Spurs, and I think the criticism comes down to, well, he never took them over the hump in the playoffs, especially, last season they didn't even make them, and in the 2 seasons before, they lost in the first round. But I get that criticism, but I also think, a lot of guys, a lot of guys are going to get that criticism. Like there are a lot of guys in Spurs history. You know, that was David Robinson before Tim Duncan came along.
Exactly.
Great regular season player, puts up a lot of numbers, but what has he ever won in the playoffs? You know, it's a lot easier when you're playing, when you are either A, you are Tim Duncan, or you're playing with Tim Duncan in his prime. It's a lot easier to get those playoff series wins. So I think LaMarcus should be, he's probably going to go down as underrated in San Antonio, even though I do understand, you know, some of the criticisms that he's gotten.
And again, I think the criticisms are fair for the current style of basketball that Greg Popovich is running with the Spurs, and LaMarcus just doesn't fit. But you talk about top 5 moments. I think number one is when he chose San Antonio, becoming the biggest free agent to ever pick. And, you know, the criticism, we had a caller yesterday talking about he got us no rings, he gets no love. And I said, so you must hate George Gervin then. I mean, you know, not everybody is going to win rings. And, you know, you get the Golden State Warriors that you're, you know, going up against in their prime at the beginning of their dynasty type run, and you know, that number 2 guy left, and that kind of changed the bridge plan from the Tim Duncan era into whatever is next and where we are now. And I think, you know, the criticism of his current play and his current fit I get from a basketball standpoint, but to say that he wasn't a great Spur or great for this organization, I think is unfair criticism that he seems to be getting from a lot of fans. But as you said, on social media, and you've got to take that for what it's worth.
Hey, and I give him a lot of, I give LaMarcus a lot of credit for the season that Kawhi was, you know, injured the whole time, played in 9 games, because LaMarcus basically shouldered the burden that year and won 47 games and got to the playoffs when who was the second best player on that team? Kyle Anderson? Like I thought that was a really you know, just a really gutsy year for him, because he and it was kind of funny because even that was you got some criticism because they didn't win 50 games. You know what I mean? They broke the 50 game streak, but he won 47 games, got to the playoffs with basically very little supporting cast. And so I understand, again, like we're saying, I understand, never really got him over the hump in the playoffs, but I don't think those rosters were good enough to get over the hump in the playoffs.
I agree with you. Jeff McDoald of the San Antonio Express News here on ESPN San Antonio. As the Spurs return home, they've got Orlando tonight. Orlando happens to have a 7-footer who's been involved in a lot of trade rumors involving the San Antonio Spurs. And, you know, and for years and years and years, we've been trained when you hear the Spurs and trade rumors, you kind of ignore them because the Spurs do things kind of out of left field that you haven't heard any rumors about. Like, I don't know, LaMarcus no longer with the team. I think it was Mike Finger who tweeted out, look at Pop scooping both Woj and Shams on the LaMarcus news, right? Which was a brilliant tweet because you know, the Spurs still do things the Spurs way. But as you hear trade rumors involving a team like Orlando and apparently what they're asking for, while they traditionally haven't been active with major trades around the deadline, is this year's team different enough to actually pull the trigger on something?
I mean, I think they would love Vucevic if they could make it work, but I just don't see what they have. Like this isn't the guy you trade LaMarcus Aldridge for. You know what I mean? Like I would do
LaMarcus and Lonnie in a pick. I don't know why Orlando would, but I'd be willing to do that.
I think at the end of the day, we're going to see Orlando hold on to Vucevic. But yeah, I mean, the Spurs being interested in Vucevic is not surprising. I just don't know how they would be able to put that together. You know, I think any team would be interested in him. It's just a matter of how to make that work. So I don't think we're going to see that guy in a Spurs uniform, but you know, we'll see. We've been surprised before.
By the way, top 5 moment of LaMarcus Aldridge that we all missed was when he stood up to Serge Ibaka, that fight that one time they had a few years ago. I'll always remember.
Oh yeah, yeah, should have remembered that one. Boy, yeah, Serge got in with everybody though.
Hey, tonight, no DeMar DeRozan, right?
Yeah, DeMar is back home in LA dealing with not dealing with is the wrong word there, but he's attending his father's memorial service, which I was under the impression it already happened, but I guess it hasn't. So they're expecting him to be able to rejoin the team in Philly on when is that, Sunday? Like there's kind of a protocol in place where I assume it means DeMar is flying private to back and forth and can meet them in Philly and pass all his COVID tests and be able to participate. But yeah, he's missing the game tonight.
When you look at obviously no LaMarcus and no DeMar tonight, the young guys ran out of gas against the Dallas Mavericks on Wednesday night, especially those that were out because of COVID. What do you think of the matchup tonight against Orlando?
Orlando has like 8 guys out. Like they're barely an NBA team at this point. I've learned you just don't take anybody for granted, and maybe especially in that situation, sometimes teams have guys rise to the occasion. The Spurs need this win pretty badly. I mean, they've lost 2 in a row. They're about to go on a 5-game road trip over 7 nights. And I know it's all against the East, but some of those teams in the East are pretty good. And, you start going on the road for 5 games at a time. There's going to be fans in some of those arenas. So there's a little more of a home court advantage for those teams on that road trip. So I think it's really important for the Spurs to get this one. They were in such good shape until the COVID outbreak hit, and then they played those 5 games severely shorthanded and won 2 of them, which I thought was pretty good. But losing 2 against Oklahoma City was not that good, and now they're kind of in the situation where you gotta stack up wins. Like you just gotta grab wins wherever you can if you're going to stay in the playoff hunt. And Orlando at home, missing 8 guys, I think you've got to win that game, even if your leading scorer is out.
With DeMar out, who do you think comes up and picks up the slack? I know earlier this season when he was out, Lonnie Walker had 2 really big games that averaged 24.5 points in those 2 games. Do you think that Lonnie's the one that's going to come up and pick up the slack?
I mean, that would be a good guess just because of what you mentioned. He's done it before when DeMar's been out. But I think the beauty of this team, especially apart from DeMar, is they have a lot of guys who could be a candidate for that. Derek White could do that. Depending, he looked a little off to me the other night in his first game since February 14th. But I think if he has his legs under him and his conditioning and his timing back, I think you're looking at he's a guy that could possibly be that guy to come in and chip in. DeJounte is going to have the ball in his hands a lot more probably, so he's a guy that could probably raise his level a little bit. So I think they have a lot of people that can come in and chip in and maybe make up for DeMar being there. But DeMar has had such a great year, and he's just so central to everything they do offensively when he's on the floor, especially creating. He's had 11 assists in I think it's 4 of the 5 games since he got back from his last trip to Los Angeles to visit his dad. So, how they're going to make up for that lack of playmaking is really what I'll be interested to see, because it's not just DeMar scoring. It seems like every open 3-pointer they get is based off something DeMar DeRozan has done.
He has become so focal, Jeff, and I know we're up against it, but I want to ask you this: as we throw different trade scenarios out, especially if they include a Derek or a DeJounte, and I'm not a fan of that unless I have an idea of what DeMar DeRozan is going to do at the end of the year. And if they think he's going to walk, I would include DeMar in some trade talks just to get something in return. But he's playing so well with this group, seems to be having a lot of fun with this group. While we know he wasn't overly thrilled to be a Spur when he first got here in that trade with Toronto, do you get any sense, and I know it's not fair because you're not at the gym, you don't get any kind of side talks in the locker room, everything's open and on Zoom, but do you get any sense of what DeMar is thinking beyond this year in relation to being with the Spurs?
I don't, and it would be good to know, and it would be good for the Spurs to know, because the Spurs are going to have some cap space this summer, and I'm not sure that they can do better with that cap space than to give it to DeMar DeRozan on a 2 or 3 year deal. I think if he was willing to return, I don't think you're going to sign a better free agent than that this offseason. So I would be very interested, if I'm the Spurs, in does he have any interest in returning? And if he does, I would want to make that work. Not talking about max money or anything crazy like that, but on a short term, moderately priced deal, a little bit over market value than what maybe he could get somewhere else. I would be total. If I'm the Spurs, I'm totally thrilled if I can bring DeMar back and that be the, because who else is out there? A, who else is out there? And B, this isn't the free agent. We're not LA. This isn't a free agent destination. If you can get a guy who's an all-star caliber to come here, which DeMar is, I think that's a win. And you've already got him here. So if you can re-sign him, I think that's a good use of your cap space in the offseason.
Jeff McDoald of the San Antonio Express News. Always appreciate the time. Enjoy that media dining there at the AT&T Center tonight. I know that food has missed you.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I don't know. Do they COVID test me at the door? I'm about to find out.
All right. Well, have fun, man. I appreciate the time.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Jeff McDoald of the San Antonio Express News on Twitter at @JMcDonald_SAEN. Always good stuff. We'll continue with some tournament talk with the conference tournaments, the Longhorns with that big win last night, and they got one today too without even having to take the court thanks to COVID in Kansas. We'll get into that as we continue here on the Blitz. It's a Friday. You know you're going to fire up the grill this weekend. That means you need to get into Tri-County Meat Market. They have 2 locations, locally owned, full service, carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, the Wagyu and upper choice. They have everything you need to up your grilling game: beef, chicken, pork, those seasoned fajitas. They've got regular fajitas if you want to season them yourself, but trust me, man, those seasoned fajitas they have, hard to beat, man. Poppers, so much more. They've got that pick fine for $25, but this week's specials, man, you want to do a great steak, they've got tomahawks at $15.99 a pound. Those sirloin fajitas at $12.99 a pound. Creekstone Prime New York Strip and Porterhouse, both $18.99 a pound, and the Creekstone Prime T-Bones at $17.99 a pound. That's fantastic for your grill. Tri-County offers 10% discount for military and first responders. They've got those 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Huebner, or check the website tricountymeat.com.
We get you ready for every single silver and black game on Game Night San Antonio.
Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is DeJounte Murray.
Get the latest on the silver and black before every game.
It's Game Night San Antonio.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Where are you headed for happy hour tonight? It better be Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks honors the happy hour the right way every day from 5 to 7. Everything you're looking for, but Fridays, it is turned up a bit more. They're honoring the pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbons every Friday at their Bourbon and Brews party. Head over to Twin Peaks from 5 to 7 to experience a lingerie costume party, paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings, and giveaways. You know, Twin Peaks, they know what they're doing. You walk into a happy hour surrounded by each individual man cave, views, spectacular mixologists making the finest drinks, your finest programs on every one of those televisions around you. We know that's all great, but why do we go? Well, it's easy. It's those scenic views.
When it comes to social distancing, if 6 feet is not enough with your spouse, it's probably time to change your status. Call the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. The Divorce Dude will help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude will fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. Call George, the Divorce Dude, 210-201-0303. That's 210-201-0303 or divorcedude.com.
During the winter storm, you either had water pipes break or you know someone who did. Jason Minix here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. At BSG, they have a water valve controller that could save you thousands if you have a water leak. And we all know that you don't have to have a hard freeze for a pipe to bust and flood your house. It happens every day. The smart valve from BSG goes on your main water line, and if it detects any leaks, it will notify you and turn off the water. The smart valve shuts down leaks before they turn into floods. Stay ahead of water waste and high bills. Monitor your water usage and pipes right from your phone. Talk about smart home technology from a company you can trust and the peace of mind your home is protected when you're not home. BSG of Texas, making smart home automation simple. Call 210-877-1222 or learn more at bsgtexas.com/radio.
You hear all the time about Diamonds Direct's prices and selection and warranties. All true, and all good reasons to give us a visit. But what really sets Diamonds Direct apart is something that's hard to put into words. But you will feel it. You'll know it from the minute you walk in. It's our unique culture, our passion, our genuine and absolute desire to totally revolutionize the way you experience jewelry shopping, with a laser focus on celebrating your special moments. Every associate, every receptionist, every jewelry craftsman, every single person at Diamonds Direct shares this DNA. This overwhelming desire to exceed your expectations, to honor your trust, to revel in your moment, to make your experience truly magical. This is not a mission statement written on our wall. This is the essence of who we are. It's what drives us every day. It's why we do what we do. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. For real. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys at the shops at La Conterre.
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect time to power up productivity and gaming victories. Now you can save what Dell employees save on high-performance tech. Save 17% on the latest XPS and Alienware computers with Intel Core processors. Plus, check out exclusive savings on Dell monitors, headsets, and accessories for greater immersion in all you do. Upgrade today by calling 800-BY-DELL. Again, that's 800-BY-DELL, or you can visit Dell.com/semi-annual sale.
This is Renee.
Happy to be here.
She's not some influencer. She's more of a groundbreaker, turning her 4-acre lot into a little slice of heaven behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. Renee runs with us because the most important job is the next one.
That's all I got.
Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1 Series tractor for just $99 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
Back here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. Congratulations to the Cole Cougars. They won the Class 3A state basketball championship earlier today in the Alamo Dome. I don't know if it's congratulations or condolences, but apparently J-Lo and A-Rod have split.
Just
Shocking.
in time for my birthday.
Shocking.
Just in time. I wanted to go back to Ben Affleck. I miss the Bennifer days.
Just in time for your birthday. I don't want to rain on your parade. You still don't got a shot. I mean, you've got no chance whatsoever.
Well, you got to dash dreams, Jason.
I live in reality, man. I live in.
Are we allowed like the 5 celebrities, like the 5 celebrity crush that you can, if the star is aligned and everything like that you can have that path?
It's your list.
Absolutely, you've got your list, and that's fine. Except for unless you're jetting down to Miami tonight to find her and lend your shoulder, it ain't gonna happen, man. I mean, I don't think there's enough zeros in your bank account to get close enough.
True, but who is she gonna date now? That's the fun part, because she's gone from Puff Daddy to Ben Affleck to A-Rod. So
don't forget, she had the backup dancer at one point,
and
Mark
like
Anthony.
Well, Mark Anthony was a celebrity himself, So
but there was a backup dancer.
There should be Vegas odds on this.
I'm sure there is somewhere, and it might not be Vegas, but some offshore account, man, will probably have the line on who's next relatively soon.
I mean, she's gone from singer to actor. I mean, no one on Broadway yet that I know of.
Or a financial advisor. So again, I think your odds
or radio
or do you think she'd go slumming at this point? So you're saying there's a chance
she can take on a trophy husband.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com will join us to talk all things Dallas Cowboys. We'll have some Spurs talk and the tournament, man. I'm worried about the NCAA tournament. Just seeing what's happening right now in the conference tournament, I am worried about the NCAA tournament. We'll talk about that next here on the Blitz.
Sports Center is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage, available at your local grocery stores.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, bump, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com. You can talk keto all you want, but if you don't have a team of great tasting snacks behind you, you're not going to win the diet marathon. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have these big, bold flavors that kick your taste buds into high gear. Korean kimchi barbecue, pasilla chili cheese, spicy dill, and more. Eat them right out of the bag or try them in your favorite recipes. You'll love this snack. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rind.
It's more than just your lawn. It's your fairway to heaven. It deserves the Kubota Z400. Class-leading speed, agility, a powerful transmission, simple deck height adjustments, and a quality cut. When you need comfort, convenience, and performance, then you need the professional-grade Kubota Z400. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
When you post your first job for free on LinkedIn Jobs, we search a network of over 700 million professionals so you can find the quality candidate you need quickly. Marketing wizards? Found them.
Software engineers?
Found.
That project manager I could never seem to hire?
And found. How? Well, LinkedIn Jobs matches your roles with candidates with the right skills and experience and puts your jobs in front of them. So, looking for an easier way to make that next hire? You found it. Post your first job for free and get started at linkedin.com/entertainment. That's linkedin.com/entertainment. Terms and conditions apply.
Order! Continue, Ms. Garner.
With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day.
Objection! My credit card doesn't earn double miles on every purchase.
I object to your objection. With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase.
Order! Please read Counselor's last statement.
With the Capital One Venture Card, you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase.
I'll allow it.
No further questions, Your Honor. Well, just one. What's in your wallet?
Capital One Bank USA, N.A.
Your home for everything Cowboys. Touchdown, Cowboys! 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. KZDC San Antonio. Jason Minutes. Rob Thompson. The Blitz.
It is the Blitz, the Friday edition. Final day of spring break for many here on ESPN San Antonio. Ain't nobody in their office at this point. Ain't nobody there, Fletch, except you.
Yeah, I'm here. What are you talking about?
You're the only one. Michael Jimenez in for a vacationing Rob Thompson. I'm Jason Minix. Kind of strange. Haven't heard from Rob. I know he's on a ski trip, and I keep waiting for the photo of him and some cast, crutches, can't walk, back out. We were talking odds earlier. What are the odds that Rob is out one day next week because his back is thrown out?
Wow, that's a good one. I'm going to say 1 to 2 in the sense that it's going to happen.
No, that's that you wouldn't make any money on that bet because about every 3 months Rob can't get out of bed. So at some point, you know that if he attempted, see, he kept saying all week, even though he bought all kinds of stuff on Amazon to go skiing, that he actually wasn't going to ski. He was going to spend all the time in the lodge. But you know how it is. You get out there and I'm not doing. All of a sudden you're doing it. That's going to be Rob, and he won't be able to walk for a couple of days.
What are the actual odds that Rob comes back? Because he's short week, Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
By Thursday or Friday, there's some sort of illness that has struck him. Whether it's a cold or a runny nose or allergies.
I don't want to go illness. That's just, that's off the books at this point. You don't wish that on anybody. But yeah, I mean, he's playing in the snow. It goes with the territory. Michael Jimenez, Rock the Mic champ, Sunday Sports Grill host, Sunday's 11-1 with Quinn Hudson filling in for the last couple of days. It's his birthday weekend, so you see him out and about this weekend, make sure you get him a shot. His goal is to get 44 of them at some point. He's getting a very important one tomorrow morning at 11 that has nothing to do with Fireball. But at the same time, I mean, it's that birthday weekend. It's Friday. It's kind of one of those, just one of those days. And so much going on. And I think part of it, the NCAA tournament is such an incredible time of year. We all become basketball experts. The conference tournaments have been great, right? I mean, Texas beating Texas Tech last night, that was a thriller. Some of the games yesterday, even Ohio State, Purdue earlier today that goes to overtime, yet it feels like COVID is going to win every one of these conference tournaments. And I sit here and I wonder, is it worth it for the NCAA trying to get to the big payday of having the NCAA tournament? Are these conference tournaments worth it? If I'm Baylor, if I'm Texas who wins today because Kansas had a positive test, so they're out, so we don't get that great Kansas-Texas matchup that I was looking forward to tonight. We don't get that. If you know you're in the tournament, why even bother right now with the conference tournament? Why roll the dice other than, all right, there's a contract and you're supposed to play what's on your schedule, all that. Why risk it? Unless the NCAA says, why don't we move the tournament start instead of Thursday, Friday? Let's push everything a week, get the teams to Indianapolis, bubble up, and let's do this, because you have to have 7 days of negative tests to get there. If you're playing in a championship game Saturday or Sunday, and then you get a positive test, you're out before it gets started.
Dude, all my friends who go to Vegas every year for March Madness would be livid. They'd be showing up there and hearing that the tournament would be pushed back. That's not going to happen. The NCAA just messed up here because they didn't think about this. I mean, if you need 7 days, you don't separate the championship game from the start of the tournament by just 7 days, because there's no room for error in any of this. And it's going to be so weird if for some reason Kansas cannot play in the tournament, and you're going to have a team that's going to advance. And not only is it going to be a team that advances, Kansas was probably going to be a 3-4 seed. So that means that you have a 13 seed who can conceivably make it to the second round simply because of a bye.
Well, and I wonder, though, if Kansas, in this case, even makes the tournament, because when they're making the selection, putting the bracket together, the selection committee, well, we don't think Kansas is going to be there. Do they still get in, knowing that they're going to have to? Now, there still would be time for them to be replaced if they can't make it, but it's going to throw off all the lines. I mean, all of it's there. I mean, we know Duke is already gone. Kentucky's already gone. The ACC tournament has turned into a mess. They had a cancellation today with Virginia after that incredible win over Syracuse, and then boom, positive test. They are out. And it's interesting as we're opening things back up. COVID is still out there, and COVID is dictating everything right now. And I just look at these conference tournaments, and while we've had some great basketball, they have lived up to the March Madness hype. There's still that just COVID hanging over everything. And, I am so worried we are so close to getting to the tournament. I don't want to see it all fall apart. It's like, and I'm really bad at a NASCAR analogy, but that's the guy that's been leading the race that runs out of gas on the final lap and loses. I mean, we are so close. I just wonder if these conference tournaments are worth having right now, knowing we are so close to the big dance.
Is it really March Madness if there's no Duke, no Kentucky, and no Kansas?
And I'm fine with that, because I'm not a fan of either of those teams, any of them. So, I mean, but I do feel bad for Duke, who's been playing good basketball. They were playing good, 2 good games in the tournament before they had to pull out. Kentucky hasn't been all year what we generally expect, but not having some of the blue bloods in there, while it is weird to have so many not in at the same time, we all root for the underdogs anyway. I remember when VCU or George Mason was making the run, or what was it, University of Maryland, Baltimore Community College that knocked off the first time a 1 seed ever went down in the first round. what was that? UMBCC, whatever they were. I mean,
right.
You know, we all love stories like that. So not having a blue blood in there that isn't one of my teams, I'm good with that. Now, if you're a fan of Duke, it sucks. But you know, I'm all for seeing some of these other teams. I look at Gonzaga, and I've been saying forever, Gonzaga and Baylor in the championship game. Except Gonzaga, and they got tested by BYU in their conference championship game. But I don't like a team completely undefeated going into the tournament. I mean, since it's gone to 64, no team has run the table and won the tournament. You know, so if you Mark Few, while you've got some legit NBA talent on that team, you face a little adversity. Are you going to be able to overcome it? And what a story it will be when Gonzaga loses.
Oh, you're saying when Gonzaga loses? That's interesting because Kispert and Suggs, man, they're legit. They're both going to be lottery picks in the NBA draft this year. You're right against that game against BYU. BYU was up double digits in the second half, had it in control, and then just blew the game. I mean, they just, it was turnover after turnover at that point. Suggs took over, and that's where talent kind of just takes over. Now, you mentioned always wanting to have the underdog win, right? So we get satisfied as fans when the underdog beats a blue blood. You know, when they beat a Duke, when they beat a UCLA or a team name like that. I don't think we're going to get excited if they beat a two-seeded Houston or an Alabama or an Iowa or an Illinois. It doesn't resonate the same way, man.
You know what? I think this year it actually will. I really think. I mean, you know, when the tournament gets going, whatever the line is, I mean, you know, we're going to have the 5-12. You have that every year, right? But when if you see a 2-seed or a 3-seed go down in the first round, I don't think we're going to say, well, that's not really the same. We're all going to celebrate it the same, depending on what we have in our bracket. And where is COVID going to be on the bracket? I wonder if anybody is going to put together the COVID clause in your bracket where you could actually pick a COVID cancellation. You know, I'm sure some website out there will try it, not the traditional ones and not the one that we're putting together at ESPN San Antonio. Our Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge brought to you by Pinkerton's Barbecue. Perfect bracket, you could win $1 million. If you don't have the perfect bracket, but the best bracket on ESPNSA.com, you'll win a $100 gift card to Pinkerton's Barbecue. Again, Selection Sunday this weekend. You can pre-register now at ESPNSA.com. It is the Blitz as we continue our weekly visit with RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com. He joins us next here on ESPN San Antonio.
100% sports, 100% of the time. That's 200% sports.
Your math is blowing my mind.
San Antonio's sports leader. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
Do you feel stuck? Are you living in pain? I'm Rob Thompson here for Arasti. Arasti providers, well, they're all around San Antonio, and they are absolutely perfect at taking care of those soft tissue injuries, those sprains and strains that just slow everybody down. Now, if you're dealing with significant pain, call an Arasti provider and get yourself out. They have found over the years through a variety of studies how quickly they can get guys back in the game. 3.2 visits. If you're dealing with a pulled hamstring or a strained muscle, if you got the frozen shoulder or the bad back or anything in between, call Arasti for a non-invasive treatment that'll get you back in the game in a remarkably short amount of time. I'm not talking about over-the-counter pain medications to dull the pain. I'm talking about the pain literally stopping. When you call an Arasti provider, you're not going to need a referral to do so. Make your appointment, and when you walk in, they're going to accept most insurance policies. When you call an Arasti provider, you know you're going to get taken care of quickly. Arasti all around town. Do not let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Call Arasti today, and I'm sure you'll thank me later.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home, and the men who use PTO to catch afternoon basketball in March with the boys. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it going to work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Most of us don't think about our brakes until we need to think about our brakes. Jason Minix here for newbrakes.com, nubrakes.com. They are a mobile brake shop. They will come to you to fix your brakes. We all like things to be easy and convenient, and New Brakes has done that with brake repair. They will come to your home or office or wherever you are. Busy work schedule, no problem. Relaxing at the house, no worries. New Brakes comes to you, and they will repair your brakes while you do whatever it is you do. At New Brakes, they only fix brakes. New Brakes provides convenient and affordable brake repairs without the normal upsells traditional repair shops love to give you once your car is up on the lift. Most repairs are done in less than an hour. New Brakes uses premium brake parts, and they back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. Go read all the 5-star reviews. If your brakes are squeaking or grinding, go to newbrakes.com and schedule your repair. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN. Newbrakes.com. That's nubrakes.com.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
In 2003, it was rare for freshmen to carry a college basketball team, never mind 2 of them. But for Syracuse, Carmelo Anthony and Jerry McNamara did just that, all the way to a national championship. Anthony led the team in scoring and rebounds, while McNamara led the team in assists and was 3rd in scoring. In the national championship game against Kansas, Carmelo was the game's leading scorer with 20, and McNamara added 18.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
March is the biggest month in college basketball where teams across the country test their talent in the hopes of winning it all. For finding talent that can help your team win it all, there's LinkedIn Jobs. Post a job with targeted screening questions, and LinkedIn will quickly get your role in front of qualified candidates. Manage job posts and contact candidates from a single view as functions are streamlined onto one simple screen. Post a job for free at linkedin.com/sports. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, ESPNSA.com. If you're listening on the go, Michael Jimenez in for a vacationing Rob Thompson. I'm Jason Minix. Michael, a Rock the Mic champ. We're now joined by the original Rock the Mic champ, RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com for his regular Friday appearance here on the Blitz. RJ, it's been an interesting week. You were filling in for, it feels like Rob's been on vacation now for about a month, even though it's been a week, but so much has happened this week. On Tuesday, we're all sitting here doing the show, and boom, the news drops that Dak Prescott signed his deal. That was Tuesday. It's Friday. Prompts to the Dallas Cowboys Twitter people today who dropped a great tweet about seeing that Friday check in your bank account with a great photo of Dak Prescott. Now that it's been a couple of days, you've been able to digest, read everything. What was the one thing about the signing with all the reports that have been out now, especially the interview that I saw with Todd France about getting the deal done for Dak Prescott?
Well, first of all, I appreciate you guys having me. And the first thing is a happy early birthday to Quattro, who I believe is turning the double Quattro. Us Rock the Mic brethren have to stick together, Jason. It's the only exclusive club that you're not a part of, and for that I apologize. But you've got many other elite clubs that you belong to, and that's okay.
Am I not a de facto member of the Rock the Mic Club? Because without my vote, you don't get in.
No, I mean we can. There's a founding father category that you're in, certainly. But just because you founded the Olympics doesn't mean you deserve a gold medal. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a process that has to be earned, and you didn't go through that, and that's okay.
But almost like when you're rushing and somebody teaches you the secret handshake. That was me. But that's
I mean,
all right.
again,
that's all right. I don't need membership into everything, but bite me. But hey, so it's your birthday, Jimenez?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I got cleared today to eat red meat again. Got cleared again to drink alcohol. It's going to be a good weekend.
Until Monday. All right, go ahead, RJ. Back to Dak Prescott and his contract.
Well, so this has felt like a long week, not just because we all haven't heard the smooth baritone voice of Rob Thompson, but because I feel like it would have been shorter if there had been this like argumentative like element to the contract, like Dak won, no, the Cowboys won, whatever. But it's this like universal Dak won thing, and it is kind of weird because like I know we're allowed to feel peace now because we've come out through the tunnel here and we're on this other side and everything is hunky-dory and great. But it's been so long, I think, just because like it's hard to really like believe, it's kind of like winning Rock the Mic. Like, you can't believe that you're part of this elite club now and that like your life is forever altered. And so I don't know. It's been a strange week, but I think the main takeaway now that the dust is really starting to settle is that Dak won. And I also think today of all days is the day that Patrick Mahomes saw his contract restructured to create salary cap space. Like the takes have just been sniped one after the other. Like this idea that, if you sign a quarterback, it's a big deal. You can't create any cap space to get any free agents, and boom. And so it's kind of just like amazing that all these things we sort of prophesied or prophesied, whatever, are starting to come true.
Well, again, it's about having the multiple math degrees and doing the salary cap gymnastics to make it work. And, when Mahomes signed that 10-year deal, you knew it was going to be reworked about 11 times. I mean, that just comes with the territory because you've got to free up the cap space. And all it is taking the guaranteed money and transferring it into a bonus. And they're able to make it work that way. That will happen with Dak. And I'm sure the language is already in the contract to make that happen because, we saw it this week with the offensive linemen, the fact that the Cowboys who've yet to make a major cut when it comes to salary. So many other teams have done that. The Cowboys haven't really had to do that yet, but they have restructured a handful of deals to be able to create some cap space.
Yeah, and one contract that they didn't touch this week, I think, is really interesting in Amari Cooper. You mentioned I'm kind of bummed that they touched Tyron Smith's contract. I know that's something that we had talked about before. But in a way, I'm kind of optimistic because they clearly feel confident about Tyron Smith's future. So maybe your whole like Rashawn Slater or bust idea is starting to lose a little bit of steam. But in not touching Amari Cooper, the Cowboys allow themselves an escape hatch with him next offseason. If they want to move on from Amari in 2022, it's only going to cost them $6 million against their salary cap. And so that's not a lot. And so they could trade him. They can obviously just cut him if they want to. And that coincides with Michael Gallup needing a new contract. So in some way, this does feel like this season is their determining season, whether they want to go down one route or the other in terms of the receiver opposite of CeeDee Lamb for the future. But yeah, I mean, again, it's just been a nice week. It really has been. It feels like El Dorado.
Now, earlier you mentioned that it's pretty universal that Dak won the contract dispute, but I thought it was kind of interesting seeing him take to the podium without any crutches, without a boot on, had an hour and 40-minute long press conference there. It was a love fest between him and Jerry and Steven. What was your big takeaway of that presser?
Honestly, my takeaway from the presser was not even Dak related. I mean, that was the first press conference the team had in person since they introduced Mike McCarthy way back at the beginning of last calendar year. It was the first time that Dak Prescott spoke publicly since being injured. He had done a couple of like Instagram videos and stuff like that. It was the first time Jerry Jones got to hold a microphone. I mean, he had done his weekly radio hits, but certainly not the same thing. And so I think Jason would agree. It felt a lot like the State of the Cowboys address that you get at the beginning of training camp out in Oxnard. It felt really, really like that. And it felt like, hey, let's just talk about we're here to talk about Dak, but we're going to give every reporter who has a credential the opportunity to ask a question. And I think that they were really smart and strategic because it became, let's talk about Dan Quinn. Let's talk about our approach to the defensive side of the ball in free agency. Like no other team except for them could talk about all these other things when they're supposed to talk about the quarterback. But in that sense, it was really nice and really interesting.
RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com with us here on ESPN San Antonio. And that is the one thing about that press conference. It was the first thing that has felt normal in a long time. Seeing Jerry on the podium with the mic, smiling. Dak Prescott in a well-tailored suit, smiling. Steven was up there. Reporters in the building, although spread out. And that kind of goes in line with the news that we got today from the NFL that, the draft coming up this year isn't going to be what we saw last year. It's still not going to be the normal, but teams are going to be allowed inside of their facilities. Jerry talked about training camp in Oxnard, California, wants the media out there. So he gave us the invite to book the beach house once again for our annual trip out to Oxnard, some normal feelings. And then with what the president said last night about July 4th as kind of the target date for having a barbecue in your backyard and things returning to normal if things go well with the vaccinations. But it was that first thing that felt normal. And now you're starting to see that with the other NFL news, that teams will be able to be in their draft rooms for the draft coming up. And I think that's a good thing, the signposts that we keep looking for.
Yeah, and I think, to that point, Jerry said in the press conference that he anticipates full capacity attendance in 2021. He mentioned the word safety a billion times, and he said that he learned that was the buzzword, something I wish he would apply to the construction of his, football roster as well. But I mean, it's almost, and I don't, maybe this is just like the human part of the last year, but it is almost like scary, right? Like it feels like, I feel like the guy in the movie Benchwarmers, the like brother that like refused to go outside and would never go to the baseball games or whatever. And so, I mean, I don't know if you've seen that movie, Jason. I would bet that Pledge has seen it, and Michael's kind of a coin flip on whether he's seen Benchwarmers in my mind. But yeah, I mean, it was normal, and like normal has felt so far on the rearview mirror that it was strange to see it kind of up in front of our faces.
I like your comment about safety. We have the draft coming up, right? It's only like 7 weeks away. Would you rather the Cowboys address the safety issue, the secondary, via the draft or by free agency?
I don't think there's a safety that is worth the draft position that they have. And they do have 4 more draft. They almost doubled their draft overall, volume in terms of picks with the 4 compensatory picks they got out this week, right before the press conference started, actually. So, I mean, there's not like that baller, right? There's not that like would be obvious, big time dude that you got to throw this insane bag at. But there are options. And I mean, my heavy concern is that they're going to look at what Donovan Wilson did last season and say, oh, we're good. And they've done that before with Xavier Woods. And I think another concern would be that they give Xavier Woods that money, that modest money that they should devote elsewhere. And so I think ideally I would love to see them sign a safety, 2 safeties, a couple of corners in free agency, so it frees them up. I mean, I know Jason is going to be heartbroken again if they don't go Rashawn Slater with the 10th overall pick. But if they do go, Caleb Farley, Patrick Surtain, J.C. Horn, whatever, I mean, the point is they've got to fill that cupboard up before they get to the draft, so they don't shoehorn or pigeonhole themselves into a point where they have to have one position over the other.
And again, if they stay at number 10, and if a Surtain at left tackle is available, or a Sewell out of Oregon, who probably won't be at 10, I really want them to address the offensive line. Even if they go down to, trade down to, 18 to 24, somewhere in that range, there's still going to be a cornerstone tackle to take there. Lots of secondary players are available. And as I'm reading on bloggingtheboys.com, RJ Ochoa, there's a couple of guys that are secondary players, veteran guys that have played for Dan Quinn in the past, a Richard Sherman. And, I think we get caught up right now going, man, he was really good with the Legion of Boom. Do you realize how long ago that was? Last year, the Cowboys tried to bring in some old savvy veteran players, and Gerald McCoy, who got injured too early to know if that would have been a good signing or not, and Dontari Poe, who didn't make it through the season. Are we going to get ourselves caught up into falling in love with names from players who used to be great?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's kind of, Mickey Spagnola, who is a great friend of ESPN San Antonio, says all the time, there's a reason that free agents are free and, or on the open market, however you want to term it. And so I mean, I think that people are going to say Richard Sherman, Patrick Peterson, anybody who they've ever heard of, anybody who's been on their Madden team, anybody to that effect.
I think we might have lost R.J. Ochoa for a moment, but I think, the point that he's making is just because their name.
Attack my phone.
It happens. It's Friday. Go with it. But I mean, again, Richard Sherman, kind of like your Graham that might break down in the wrong moment and cost yourself a touchdown. You're unable to complete the process of the sentence there, RJ.
Yeah. So again, shout out to the internet gremlins always. But I mean, that is a real variable. And I think sometimes that works. Like had Gerald McCoy stayed healthy, to your point, go.
And again, you look at McCoy unable to stay healthy, so you're never really sure if that would have worked out. And so, I mean, yes, I understand the names that are certainly out there, but I don't necessarily know, especially if they want a lot of money, if a guy like a Richard Sherman would be worth going after. Now, I do think, RJ, I think we're back connected and everything's running smooth. RJ, the one thing that we are seeing is with the amount of players that are getting released at a variety of positions, the Cowboys might be in a position to do a lot of one-year deals with some of these veteran guys who know with the salary cap reduction, the big contract and a long contract might not be there. So there might be a possibility of getting a good veteran player at a little bit of a discount for 1 year until the salary cap goes back up. Yeah, we're still not hearing R.J. Ochoa, so I guess that'll do it for this Friday. We'll see if he can pick up one last fumble while he tries to reconnect Michael Jimenez. You think about getting in one of those 1 year contracts with some veteran guys. That might be the savvy way for the Cowboys to go build a solid defense or a better defense in the short term without committing a lot of long-term money.
Oh, most definitely. You can kick the tires too. See how they fit with the team, with the offense. But when you take a look at it, Gerald McCoy, for example, I thought was an incredible pickup for the Cowboys last year before getting hurt. Now, if they're going to be getting these players on a 1 year deal and whatnot, I think it's a fantastic way of seeing how they fit, and I'd be very supportive of that, especially if the salary cap is going to increase in the future.
Let's bring R.J. Ochoa back into the conversation. I want to get your thoughts there. With the salary cap being what it is this year, a lot of veteran players getting released as cap casualties, getting a player maybe at a little bit of a discount on a 1 year deal, so no long-term financial commitments might be a benefit to the Cowboys this year.
Yeah, I think Stephen Jones knows that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to his team. So he's clearly trying to, put the Knicks on this conversation so that the Eagles, who are big Blitz listeners, don't get a hold of their draft strategy or free agent strategy. And I think, teams are going to be cash strapped, obviously, this offseason with the, reduced salary cap value. And I think that that's a reality. And so in some senses, like more than ever, like I don't truly buy, I'm not saying it's not at all a factor, but like state income tax is not the like big deal that people think it is. Workout facilities aren't the deal breaker like the way people think it is. And so, but this offseason more than ever could come down to recruitment and could come down to future promises and could come down to, players on your team. Dak Prescott was asked about that in his press conference, if he's able to recruit, would-be free agents. And he had kind of a classic, I'll recruit whoever they tell me to recruit answer. And so, I think the Cowboys are in a position for success there, and it is a matter of being aggressive enough. That's always been the case for them, is that they have chosen not to be aggressive. In fact, I saw Mike Sando of The Athletic wrote today about, he chronicled all the free agent decisions that teams have made since 2011, the old collective bargaining agreement, and the Cowboys have averaged the lowest, annual per year contract value when it comes to bringing in outside free agents. They're just scared. They were spooked by the Brandon Carr deal in 2012, and so they don't want to spend big money in free agency. So, I mean, if the wallet matches with the want, then I think that they have all the other extracurriculars to offer would-be free agents. But it ultimately does come down to cash, and they're just not willing to spend, and that has to change. And I hope that they've learned that lesson in the process of all of this.
Well, and again, when you think about 1 year deals or potential here, available cash has always been there, kind of like the deal with Dak Prescott. Jerry and Steven have a formula that they like to stick with. And if it doesn't meet the formula, they're not going with it. You think about an Earl Thomas or a Jamal Adams, it didn't match. And so, they missed or passed on those opportunities, however you want to count it. RJ, before we let you go, I know we talked about it some early in the week. Now that we're a week into where restructures and cuts can happen, are you any bit surprised that nothing has happened with Leighton Vander Esch to this point?
No, I mean, they have until May 3rd to decide whether they want to pick up his 5th-year option, and I don't think they'll do it personally, because I mean it's over $9 million, and the 2018 draft class, the first round picks that year, are the first. The draft that we were at, by the way, they're the first to have their 5th-year options fully guaranteed, and I don't think you can fully guarantee Leighton Vander Esch $9 million at this point. So I think. It's never like, nobody ever wants to be like, yeah, we're not going to pick up the option and report that news. I think it's just a matter of like, oh, we didn't do it. And so I do think it's strange personally that they didn't make a move on Jalen Smith. But it would technically cost them money to move on from him this season. But I did think that the message of moving on from him could have been an important one, and they've chosen not to do that. I think the only domino that could drop that hasn't yet is Amari Cooper. But the moment that gets triggered, the moment that they commit to him over Michael Gallup in 2022 and beyond.
It's going to be interesting. The Cowboys offseason never ends. RJ Ochoa from bloggingtheboys.com. Enjoy your weekend. I know you'll be guest hosting on the Blitz again coming up on Monday. Always appreciate the time, my friend. As we continue here on the Blitz, more NFL news. Cam Newton staying with the Patriots. We'll get into that and more as we continue here on 94.5 FM, AM 1250, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
What's better than winning some free cash? We're giving away $1 million to anyone who can pick a perfect bracket. The ESPN San Antonio Basketball Mayhem, brought to you by Pinkerton's Barbecue. Details and registration at ESPNSA.com.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson for Alamo Cycleplex. They're over on De Zavala and I-10, your power sports headquarter. Honda, Kawasaki, Polaris, Slingshot, Suzuki, Yamaha, and Vanderhall under one roof. If you're looking for a toy, 2 or 3 wheels, or one that skates across the water, you know one place to go, and that's Alamo Cycleplex. What I love about it is the great people there. Family first. If you're looking for a family thing to get everybody together, you're looking for a way to break out and enjoy the great outdoors, power sports is your way, and Alamo Cycleplex is where you need to begin. Head over to Alamo Cycleplex, meet with those great folks. Go take a test drive of the Slingshot or those Vanderhalls, those 3-wheeled rockets, or maybe you're looking for an all-terrain vehicle. No matter what you're looking for, service is offered and great. The sales folks are perfect. Let me tell you, Alamo Cycleplex is where it begins. That's where your ride starts. Head over this weekend, and I'm sure you'll find some fun. You'll thank me later. A great meal starts with great meat. Rob and Jason here for Tri-County Meat Market, the best meat market in San Antonio. It's locally owned and full service. Tri-County has carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, and upper choice.
Tri-County has everything you need to up your grilling game, from beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, poppers, and more. Stock up on their Pick 5 for $25. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Huebner Road, and online at tricountymeat.com.
The U.S. supply of COVID-19 vaccine will be limited at first. Bexar County is following the recommendations made by the Texas Department of State Health Services. In Bexar County, 60% of our population falls within the first group. There will be more opportunities to receive the vaccine. We will keep you informed and ask for your patience in this process. It is important for everyone to continue to practice social distancing, wear a mask, and get vaccinated when it is their turn. Do it for you. Do it for your family. Do it for San Antonio. For more info, visit covid19.sanantonio.gov or call 311.
Making popcorn for movie night?
Whoa, who are you?
This is your wake-up call from TracFone Wireless. What if every time you tried a new streaming service, you had to buy a new TV?
That'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, some wireless companies do that when you switch, make you buy a new phone.
Right.
But TracFone Wireless lets you keep your phone and your number and your network, and gives you unlimited talk and text starting at $20 a month.
Seriously, who are you?
This is your wake-up call, people. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. Oh, you're burning it.
Oh, no.
See terms and conditions at TracFone.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Now's the time to get a great deal on Kubota construction equipment, featuring durable Kubota engines, more comfort, more productivity, more get it done right. The Kubota construction lineup shows up ready to work every day. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months or save up to $11,000. Now through March 31st, 2021. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
O'Reilly. Save big during Power Torque Tools DIY Day sale at O'Reilly Auto Parts with great deals on socket sets, impact wrenches, and more. Right now, get $10 off a 200-piece mechanics tool set, plus earn double O-Rewards points. That means you'll get to your next reward even faster. Visit the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts today or shop O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You run a business and you need better wireless. 3 words, no more compromise. With the T-Mobile Business Advantage, you get the largest 5G network, award-winning customer support, and insanely great value. No trade-offs. Right now, get up to 90 days of unlimited free on business plans when you switch via bill credits. Stop in to find out more. Plus taxes and fees for some plans. Complete port within 60 days. Customers over 50 gigabytes per month have lower speeds during congestion. Video at 480p, unlimited on our network. See T-Mobile.com for 5G devices coverage and plan details.
It is the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, ESPNSA.com on this Friday. I'm Jason Minix. Rob Thompson still on vacation. The birthday boy, Michael Jimenez, Rock the Mic champ, Rock the Mic 4. We call him Quattro, host of the Sunday Sports Grill, which is Sunday at 11, in and eating a snack during the commercial break. What were you eating?
Healthy, man. Eating grapes.
I was trying to figure out what they were. I was wondering if they were grapes. Now I'm kind of hungry. I screwed up my lunch to no end. I was trying an air fryer pizza, taking a DiGiorno's pizza, and instead of the 18 minutes in the oven, I was like, well, I'll try it in the air fryer. You know, I bought the thing. It's one of those COVID purchases, and I've mastered bagel bites. I think in the air fryer. So I put the DiGiorno's in there and burned the hell out of it. So my lunch ended up being peanut butter and jelly and some Pringles. So I'm kind of hungry and I'm watching it eat going, dude, man.
I was going to say, that's pretty fancy to be using an air fryer on a DiGiorno's, man. I was waiting for you to say that it came out perfectly, but now I'm trying to figure out.
No, it was disgusting.
But I'm trying to figure out how am I going to keep up with this diet, because I haven't had red meat in 3 weeks. I haven't had a lot of good stuff, fried foods in 3 weeks. But tonight, though, the alcohol, that'll be taken care of. That will be broken.
I will tell you, as somebody who has lost a gallbladder myself, and you just had gallbladder surgery, everything's kind of good now because you've been on that bland diet. As you start to introduce some things back that you haven't had in a while, I would say do it at home. Don't go order a nice big pizza at a restaurant. And anybody that's lost a gallbladder knows exactly what I am saying. So, we were talking about all the different football stuff there with RJ Ochoa. A couple of well-known quarterbacks redoing deals today. Tom Brady sticking around. And again, we know he's going to play till he's 75. Cam Newton coming back with the New England Patriots. A little bit of a surprise. But he was such a bargain last year. There's been so many rumors involving the Patriots and quarterbacks, especially reuniting Bill Belichick with Jimmy G. I am surprised that they're going Cam Newton and not even waiting for free agency to begin. But I don't think that he's guaranteed to be the starter next year. I just think he's a placeholder, and he'll have to compete for the job. But at least they know they've got Cam, and then they can work back from there.
They got him for the right price, man. And I think the Saints are going to do the same with Jameis Winston as well. Doesn't make them the starter because, it's not unheard of to have a quarterback making $3, $4, $5 million a year and be the backup. So, but if he wins the spot or they trade him out, it's a very low risk proposition for them, for the Patriots. And if you take a look, I mean, it's heavily incentivized. So we talked in the past about Dak Prescott taking a chance on himself. Cam Newton, in a way, is taking a chance on himself as well, because he signs for 5. It could be 14, but he needs to win to make it happen.
Well, he does. And again, I mean, I think about for Cam Newton, who was a bargain last year on that 1-year deal with the New England Patriots, second year in a system. He played well early, didn't play well after he had COVID. In figuring out that system, I imagine year 2 is going to be better. He bet on himself last year. And, you know, I guess you could say he won because he's going to make more money this year, but not the kind of money that he was probably hoping he would get and that he would have gotten had he had an incredible season last year for the New England Patriots. But to your point, the money they signed him to is similar to what Andy Dalton had last year as the backup for the Dallas Cowboys. And I wouldn't be surprised if Andy Dalton isn't back with the Cowboys. You know, that you start thinking about who could they go after. And I wouldn't be surprised if Andy Dalton ended up in New England because of the kind of quarterback and the kind of system that they run there in New England and what Belichick is looking for. And you've got a veteran-savvy starter quality in Andy Dalton. Certainly not elite, don't get me wrong, but Andy Dalton is good enough to be a starter for a lot of teams in the National Football League.
Oh, he is. And, you know, Andy Dalton's not going to win you a Super Bowl, but he's somebody that's going to be there in case there's an injury for 2 or 3 weeks. Now, with Dak last year, obviously he was gone for the entire season. But what you want from Andy Dalton is you want him to mentor Dak. You want him to show the professionalism to DiNucci or whoever the third-string quarterback. And you want him to be out there in case of emergency for 1, 2, or 3 weeks. That's what he's there for. But you could do worse than having Andy Dalton out there.
Yeah, and again, we'll say I still wish the Cowboys would have given a little bit more run to Garrett Gilbert. You know, he played well in the one game that he got. I saw what Garrett Gilbert did in the Alliance League. So Ben DiNucci, no, not after what we saw from Ben DiNucci, that is for sure. It's an interesting time. It's going to be an interesting weekend with NFL news. Conference tournaments continuing. We'll talk about that coming up. Baylor and Oklahoma State right now. Now Oklahoma State with an 11-8 lead on Baylor. They're on an 8-0 run. Baylor was up 8-3. The winner of this game will get the Texas Longhorns in the Big 12 championship game tomorrow night after Texas wins by default today. Kansas had to withdraw because of COVID. We'll talk about that. And Michigan State's new nickname. Yep, the Sparties are sponsored, selling out every which way we can. And don't forget, around 6 o'clock, we're going to give away season tickets to the San Antonio Gunslingers who play their first game tomorrow night at the San Antonio Rose Palace. Let me tell you about Kielbasa sausage. If you're looking for authentic sausage, the kind you could find in butcher shops back in the old days, then Kielbasa smoked sausage is what you're looking for. And Kielbasa has some new products out. They're available for a limited time, and it's smoked chicken sausage. I've had and been able to try the Hatch chili and cheddar smoked chicken sausage. It is incredible. They also have a roasted garlic smoked chicken sausage that's available, but it's only available at the Kielbasa Company store down on South Brazos Street or online at kielbasa.com. And for a limited time, it is incredible. Haven't tried the roasted garlic yet, but my expectation is high. I have tried the Hatch chili and cheddar, and it is incredible. So if you're looking for some smoked chicken sausage, go to kielbasa.com or go down to the company store there at 1325 South Brazos Street. And that is where everything that Kielbasa makes is made, right here in San Antonio. They're a great local company, have been since Rufus Kielbasa started the company back in 1949. At Kielbasa, they are on a mission to reintroduce you to authentic smoked meats. So when you buy Kielbasa brand sausage, you know you're getting the best, most authentic smoked sausage you will ever eat. If it's not, call Michael Kielbasa. He'll give you your money back. He puts his phone number on the back of every package sold. You're going to fire up the grill this weekend. Make sure you get some Kielbasa sausage today.
Hey, don't get left out of the conversation.
I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if you did.
Follow us on Facebook at ESPN San Antonio and on Twitter at ESPN_SA.
And of course, on the go at ESPNSA.com.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Get ready for real all year long at SeaWorld San Antonio. Real adventure with heart-pounding coasters. Real connection with unique animals. And real fun with incredible events and live entertainment throughout the year. See how we're making your visit safer with limited capacity and more at SeaWorld.com. Buy a SeaWorld pass, get an Aquatica pass free. Hurry, offer ends March 21st. Restrictions apply.
Nobody plans on getting arrested, but it happens. Get out of jail fast by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. Call AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans and are open 24/7. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
It's time for some straight talk. Tax returns could look a little different this year. So when the big carriers start trying to get you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk Wireless, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get our unlimited plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense. Tune in to Straight Talk Wireless. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Savings may vary. See straighttalk.com.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home, and the men who use PTO to catch afternoon basketball in March with the boys. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
In 2003, it was rare for freshmen to carry a college basketball team, never mind two of them. But for Syracuse, Carmelo Anthony and Jerry McNamara did just that, all the way to a national championship. Anthony led the team in scoring and rebounds, while McNamara led the team in assists and was third in scoring. In the national championship game against Kansas, Carmelo was the game's leading scorer with 20, and McNamara added 18.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
March is the biggest month in college basketball where teams across the country test their talent in the hopes of winning it all. For finding talent that can help your team win it all, there's LinkedIn Jobs. Post a job with targeted screening questions, and LinkedIn will quickly get your role in front of qualified candidates. Manage job posts and contact candidates from a single view as functions are streamlined onto one simple screen. Post a job for free at linkedin.com/sports. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
It is the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, ESPNSA.com. Michael Jimenez in for a vacationing Rob Thompson. I'm Jason Minix. Hard to imagine. It's been a year since we all were sent to work from home. I've been in my house in the same spot at the kitchen table now for a year. Michael Jimenez, you know, the advantage of working from home, you can change rooms in the middle of the show, no big deal. Get close to the TV because you want to watch a Baylor and Oklahoma State play. But you think about what we're all going through. ESPN San Antonio and Stevens Roofing have come together in our drive to end hunger. The pandemic is still in full swing. Many families continue to struggle. We have come together to support the San Antonio Food Bank and help set the table for 58,000 individuals a week. Join us and give what you can at ESPNSA.com through March 19th. Every dollar counts, whether you got, $10, $25, $100, whatever it is, every dollar counts. The ESPN San Antonio and Stevens Roofing Drive to End Hunger, brought to you in part by Quartermoon Heating and Air Conditioning, Roof Fix, and Airtron Heating and Air Conditioning. Again, if you can, make your donation at ESPNSA.com. And again, a year ago, conference tournaments were getting shut down. COVID is playing the factor in this year's tournaments. Texas automatically moves on because Kansas got bit by the COVID bug today. They are out of their NCAA tournament. I don't know if that is in jeopardy or not, to be quite honest with you. When Duke got the virus, they said, hey, we're done. Kansas hasn't quite said that yet. The selection committee, selection Sunday happening this weekend. We know Texas is in the title game. It's going to be against Baylor or Oklahoma State, and I really wonder if it's worth it. Knowing that you've got to have 7 consecutive negative tests to be able to go, the days, if you pop this weekend, don't give you enough time. So, I do think they're rolling with the dice, but they've got to get this in, Michael Jimenez, because they want the paycheck. They need to be able to fulfill the TV contracts, especially after not having it last year. A lot of teams are getting creative on how to supplement revenues. Michigan State is no longer the Michigan State Spartans. They have literally sold themselves. They've mortgaged the future, if you will.
Oh, Michigan State's starting to backtrack a little bit, but there was a press release yesterday calling them the Spartans sponsored by Rocket Mortgage. And that's absolutely crazy because I don't want it to be like those bowl games where you have to say who is sponsoring it before the game. To me, the Rose Bowl's the Rose Bowl. To me, whatever, the Cotton Bowl's the Cotton Bowl. But I do not want to live a life where we're talking about these teams and having to say Michigan State Spartans of Rocket Mortgage.
Well, and again, I mean, a lot of, I mean, it depends on the bowl. Like the Valero Alamo Bowl is always going to be the Valero Alamo Bowl, right? I mean, it's just ingrained. It's the Rose Bowl presented by, or it's
Builder Square Alamo Bowl.
Well, it was that, and it was the MasterCard Alamo Bowl there for a bit as well. You could see that. But you're right, the Cotton Bowl. I don't know anybody. Is it still Goodyear? I don't know anybody that calls it the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, except first or second reference on your broadcast. But the amount of advertising that comes along with it. So Michigan State, they're now the MSU Spartans presented by Rocket Mortgage. They're not changing their name to the Michigan State Rockets or the Michigan State Rocket Mortgages, but you look at these teams are doing it, and it won't be long before the individual players are going to be able to have their own sponsor stuff. But I mean, look, we're all going NASCAR. Well, you look at soccer. There's so many teams that, it's not a team logo on their jersey. It's a corporate logo. You see corporate logos on NBA jerseys, although not dominant like you see in soccer. It's the way we're going. It's interesting that Michigan State is really the first to do it this way.
Well, logos are everywhere, man. Right now I'm watching the Oklahoma State Baylor game. I've seen 4 advertisements go by. I've seen Sunkiss, Phillips 66. It is all over the place. It's also in movies. The Coming to America 2 movie had a Pepsi commercial literally 30 seconds into the movie.
Absolutely. I mean, and look, we all realize, you do realize in the radio world, we're spaced between commercials. You know what I mean? That's part of it. But I do find it interesting that, as we get ready for players to be able to do their own endorsement deals and college players to get paid, that a university has gone out and done that. I mean, it's one thing to say your season is presented by. It's one thing to say, all the different, everything is sponsored. Look at Twitter. These highlights brought to you by, Miller Lite or whatever it might be. I mean, it's the way of the world. But to put a title sponsorship essentially on a program for athletics, I'm curious what the dollar amount is, but it ain't cheap. But again, they're trying to make up for the lost revenue during COVID, which means changing the rules as we go.
Oh, I'm waiting for the Texas Longhorn spawn brought to you by Whataburger. That's the next one.
You know what? And that would certainly make sense. And I promise you, if that Patterson guy was still the AD at Texas, it would have been done a long time ago. I mean, that guy sells and would sell just about everything. It's part of it. This is the Blitz. We are always brought to you by the Thompson Law Firm. An experienced personal injury attorney is just a phone call away. As we come back in the 6 o'clock hour, Spurs Magic play tonight. Evan Closky from Ken's 5 will join us on Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. But before we do, we've got a brand new football team in San Antonio. The San Antonio Gunslingers. It's an indoor football league, an arena league team. They play their first game tomorrow. We are going to give away season tickets, not just a pair of tickets for tomorrow's first game, season tickets that we are going to give away. But we're going to test your San Antonio sports team knowledge. So if you think you know about San Antonio sports team history, get a phone line now, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. We've had a lot of teams that have played in San Antonio. If you know those teams, you know some of those teams, I'm tipping my hand here, but if you want to win season tickets to go see the Gunslingers, get on the phone now, 656-ESPN, 656-3776. We'll have that giveaway when we come back here on The Blitz.
When it comes to social distancing, if 6 feet is not enough with your spouse, it's probably time to change your status. Call the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. The Divorce Dude will help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude will fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. Call George, the Divorce Dude, 210-201-0303. That's 210-201-0303 or DivorceDude.com.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel teaches you conversations that you will actually use. With 14 languages and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, your home to 7 days a week happy hour. Come eat, drink, and socialize safely at all 4 Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar locations. And now you can join us bright and early at the newest location, Slackers Medical Center. Now opens at 7 a.m. to serve our valued medical community. Nurses, doctors, frontline workers, and staff, we thank you. Slackers Medical Center at Fredericksburg and Medical Drive. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, now with 4 area locations to quench your thirst.
Hi, I'm Brooke Burke, and I have a question for you. Do you ever consider just how important your feet are? They're quite literally the foundation of your body, and if you don't take care of them, you're asking for problems. That's why I wear Skechers' new Arch Fit shoes. Skechers teamed up with podiatrists to make a shoe that provides total foot and arch support. They use 20 years of data to design a podiatrist-certified insole that distributes support across the arch, no matter what foot type you have. Plus, Skechers Arch Fit provides extreme comfort. In fact, these just might be the most comfortable Skechers I've ever worn. Whether I'm walking or standing, they feel like a dream. Just try them on and you'll feel the instant difference. So if foot care is as important to you as it is to me, check out Skechers Arch Fit. They're podiatrist certified, they're comfortable, and they look great. Because when it comes to preserving my body, I know Skechers has my back and my feet. Get the support you need with Skechers' new Arch Fit at a Skechers store near you, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
ESPN San Antonio, all day, every day. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM, KCTC San Antonio. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, ESPNSA.com. I'm Jason Minix. Michael Jimenez, Rock the Mic champ, host of the Sunday Sports Grill, in for a vacationing Rob Thompson. You want to win season tickets for the San Antonio Gunslingers? Grab a phone line now on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. We are going to give away not a pair of tickets to their first game tomorrow. We've got a pair of season tickets that we are going to give away. The San Antonio Gunslingers, a part of the American Arena League. Talking with some of the guys, I love the fact that there are San Antonio guys that are in the ownership group, a lot of local talent involved here. And looking at the league, you know, you got a team in Fort Worth. You got a team in Austin. So you got some good natural rivalries. Hell, even a team from El Paso. And they're going to kick off their season tomorrow night against the North Texas Bulls there at the San Antonio Rose Palace. So we were thinking about it as we get the phone line set at 656-ESPN, 656-3776, Michael. You know, through the years, a lot of teams that have come through San Antonio. So I don't want to give these to just caller number 7 or whatever. Somebody that's been to games, that somebody that will support local teams, because that's what this is. This is a great opportunity to watch a team grow from the beginning and wish it nothing but success. So as we do that, we want to test knowledge of people that have been there. Pledge, you've got a couple of different things going on here. Where are we going? Tell us who, and we'll just take it from there. Go to line 3, James. James, you're on the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. What's up, man?
How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. You've been in San Antonio a long time?
Yes, sir.
All right, name 3 teams that have called San Antonio home.
Of course, you got the Gunslingers way back then in the 80s. You got the Iguanas hockey team, and then of course, Spurs.
No, I said used to call San Antonio home. See, the Spurs still call San Antonio home. They're not on that list yet.
Okay, the Scorpions. Soccer team.
The Scorpions count. They're still here. All right, we need a hold on. Let's
go by
put
a different name.
Yeah, let's put James on hold for a moment. Let's discuss this amongst the judges. 656 ESPN 656-3776. Do you count the Scorpions or not?
I mean, technically, they just changed the name, right?
Yeah, but they changed leagues too, didn't they?
But it was all the same talent and ownership group. Like the team didn't leave and get replaced with another team, right?
It went from Gordon Hartman to the Spurs. I mean,
Isn't that cheating though? He put in a hockey team. Isn't that cheating? Shouldn't we just do the football team?
Well, I mean, honestly, as a guy that used to work for the San Antonio Iguanas as their radio guy, and you know, they still, I think, had the best logo of any of the teams that have ever been here. I appreciate the Iguanas, but again, I don't want to just limit it to the football teams, although we probably could go 5 football organizations that have played in San Antonio before. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's certainly a possibility.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I'm thinking about this Gunslinger's name here. Are they going to bring back that San Antonio Gunslingers song from the 80s? Because I still remember the lyrics.
I do not know, but if you remember the lyrics, sing to us.
Yes, please.
We are the Gunslingers of San Antonio, gunslingers away or at home. Remember the Alamo, for this is what we're told. We are the Gunslingers of San Antonio.
Wow, dude! I'm sorry I asked, but that actually was pretty good. Pledge, I know there are some other people on the line, but generally it sounds like what happens when they all think they lose, they hang up. So is anybody still on? Want to give this
James
to James?
Is still there.
James.
Did we come to a
I don't think
conclusion?
we've come to a conclusion unless everybody else that was on the line, Mark and Mike, I saw were on there. Did they hang up thinking James had won?
Yeah, they hung up thinking he won already.
So James is going to win by. All right, let's bring James back on. James,
what about the Commanders?
What about the Commanders? I'm surprised that wasn't the first one up. But yes, we will give you the Commander. Let me ask you: Are you one that is going to go to every and utilize these season tickets?
Absolutely.
Because honestly, man, I don't want to give them to somebody that isn't going to use them.
No, we support San Antonio teams a lot. So,
all right, James, congratulations. You've won yourself season tickets for the San Antonio Gunslingers. Again, first game tomorrow night. In fact, I'm going out there tomorrow night for this first game. I'm excited to see what kind of show they're going to put on. Talking to them, having been a part of so many San Antonio franchises, and I think about, I mentioned I used to do radio with the San Antonio Iguanas back in the mid 90s. I was part of the team, not the first 2 years when they went to the championship round. That was Tony Yu. But, the year that we had the Iguanas and the Dragons, what a nightmare that was, having 2 teams in the same building. That was such a disaster, but a lot of fun. The 2 games or so that the San Antonio Matadors lasted, they still haven't paid. Mm-hmm. I was for 3 years with the San Antonio Talons as their radio guy. I did get all my paychecks there. Of course, the San Antonio Commanders, and I might have been the only guy in the alliance. Well, actually, all the broadcasters actually got paid because we were contracted through a separate company, and we got paid, but not a whole lot of other people got paid by the Alliance of American Football. But that was still probably the funnest was working with the San Antonio Commanders. That said, I had a blast with the San Antonio Talons. Because, as the radio guy, we're traveling, but it sucked because you would travel commercial. At least with the Commanders, we were flying in private planes, so, that was easy. Well, but when you're with a football team, you fly in on Friday, or Coach Lee Johnson, if we were on the West Coast, if we were playing in Salt Lake City or San Jose or something like that, he'd always want to go Thursday. So I'd have a couple extra days off. I would always have to room with the kicker, a guy named Stefan Demos. Because, and he's the one guy that was going to go party on a Friday night. Everybody else, Friday, man, they were doing what they needed to do to get ready for their game the next day. But the crazy part about you would play a game, typically they're 7 o'clock starts, right? 7:30. The game would end, but we would have a 6 a.m. flight on Sunday, and the bus to go to the airport would always be there about 3:30 because you had so much equipment that you had to deal with. So it never failed. Nobody slept on Saturday night. I mean, really, we could have checked out of the hotel room, but you go back to the hotel, then you just hit the bars. And, as long as you can get your Uber back by 3 o'clock to catch the bus to the airport. And that was a whole lot of fun. There was one night in New Orleans, I think half the team missed the 6 a.m. flight, but that's certainly understandable because it was New Orleans. But it's a lot of fun being a part of and supporting all these local franchises that come through here. So the San Antonio Gunslingers, tomorrow night, their first game, and, they've already had to go through some stuff that every first-year organization has to go through. I know with the winter storm that we had, it damaged some turf. They had to get some new turf. I remember with the Talons one year, and I forget all the details, to be honest, but they practiced at a local facility and kept most of their equipment in the back of a rental truck, a Ryder truck that got stolen. And so then you had to go and find all the replacement gear to get ready for the game as you were transferring back and forth from the dome. Good stories like that always make it a lot of fun.
I'm picturing you bunking with the kicker, trying to think to myself, how did he lose that? How did he lose that game? He got drawn to be with you.
Well, first off, Demos and I are really good friends. And look, he was a kicker for Northwestern in college. He's a legit guy, but, he liked the fact that, the radio guy was his roommate because we were the ones that could go out on a Friday. Everybody else, they were stuck doing football things and drinking nothing but water and eating. We could go, he's the kicker, right? So it was good. And again, we were in nice hotels. They all had 2 beds in them. It was good. If I had to share a room with somebody, although I'm too old now, man, I don't like to share a room.
No, that's fantastic. And, you talked about the Commanders earlier. That was the league that I was so hopeful for, man, because I went to the game, was so excited. There was a lot of hard hitting out there. People had so much fun out there. But that was the one league that when it folded, that just kind of was a punch to the gut there.
It was. And I think about the Alliance of American Football and what we were told and what was reality. And I can't wait for the 30 for 30s on this. And it will probably all be years from now when all the court cases are settled. But the one thing about the Alliance is they did everything like they were in the NFL, and they spent money like they were in the NFL. Like I said, the charter planes, the police escorts for the buses, really nice hotels. Everybody had their own room. Nobody shared. The meals that we had, just everything about it was big. And it felt big, too, until, of course, you realized, 2 weeks in, we're changing payroll companies and people started questioning things. And it was an incredible 53 days. And then I thought, well, the XFL was going to have a chance. And, and then COVID hit. I think had COVID not hit, the XFL might be in play. What I'm curious of now as we talk about local teams in the area, the XFL this week, and I do pay attention to a lot of this, even though it doesn't always make the show. And I talked to a lot of people about this, but the XFL has started having conversations with the Canadian Football League. And I don't necessarily know if they're going to merge, but I really do think they should. Neither one are having a season this year, but if the Canadian League and the XFL have some sort of merger, kind of go back to, the old AFL, NFL days. You know what I mean? Then you've got both leagues with a little bit more of a financial stability. You got a lot of the same caliber players. And when I look at a lot of NFL rosters now, those were guys that were playing in the Alliance League. There's a lot of guys that made it from the Alliance to the NFL and from the XFL to the NFL. I mean, so much of it is just getting the right amount of tape, and these spring leagues allow that. So I do think there is, obviously, if it's run right, a model out there, whether it's the Alliance or the XFL or a combination of both, to make it work. The Canadian League's been around forever, and they're great for what they are, but to get into the United States and get those TV viewers, I think you could do that. And, when The Rock bought the team, I know San Antonio, with what we showed for the Alliance, is certainly going to be there. That makes San Antonio attractive when the XFL is looking for expansion. I know before the shutdown, they were looking at taking one of the current XFL teams that was in play under McMahon and relocating to San Antonio in year 2. Of course, then the shutdown happened. But I see the support that there was for the Alliance. I hope we see similar support for what you're going to see with the Gunslingers, because supporting all these local teams, that helps us get the next one. And that's what it's all about. Tomorrow night, you go to the San Antonio Rose Palace, you watch a little indoor football, and I have if you going, well, this ain't 11-man football, then yeah, you're right. It's not a 100-yard field. Arena football is a lot of fun. The Arena League, some of the hits, some of the talent out there, it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the Gunslingers game tomorrow, and congrats to James, who just picked himself up some season tickets by sort of knowing some San Antonio sports history.
Yeah, it's all about the product that's out there, and I will support anything that's a lot of fun out there. It's why I like going to Missions games so much. I like going to Missions games more than the actual Major League Baseball games. It's just a more intimate atmosphere. Going back in history, the Talons, the Commanders, and the original Gunslingers, some of my favorite memories, just hanging out with friends, being out in the stands, having a couple of beers, or just being with my dad, have been with those games. So I'm all about it. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not really familiar with the Rose Palace.
It's Bernie Stage Road. I believe it's that building that George Strait owns out there for rodeos and, kind of a multi-purpose, event. And, trying to find a building right now for home games. I mean, you would think Freeman or Dome or whatever. It's hard to find venues at this point, especially with all the protocols in place. And they had to make decisions, months ago when, a lot of restrictions were there, and, renting buildings is tough. So it'll be interesting to see what it's like out there. And you mentioned beer. They do have their own beer with Alamo beer. So, kind of like what the Commanders had. So, you can go out there, drink some beer and watch some football. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night. The tournament continuing, Baylor and Oklahoma State heading to halftime in what has been a fantastic game, and maybe a little surprising as the Cowboys have a 5-point lead as they go to halftime. We'll talk about that in the tournament as the Longhorns get ready to play in the Big 12 championship game. Evan Closky from Ken's 5 will join us at 6:30 to talk some Spurs here on the Blitz. Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. You're going out celebrating your birthday, maybe with some friends, family, somebody ends up in jail. The best way to get out of jail fast, Michael, is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, offer a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas. Services nationwide. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, 225-2121, or online, mybestbailbonds.com.
We get you ready for every single silver and black game on Game Night San Antonio.
Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is DeJounte Murray.
Get the latest on the silver and black before every game.
It's Game Night San Antonio.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
It's time for some straight talk. Tax returns could look a little different this year. So when the big carriers start trying to get you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk Wireless, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get our unlimited plan with no contract, on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense. Tune in to Straight Talk Wireless. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Savings may vary. See straighttalk.com.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Professional arena football is back in San Antonio. The San Antonio Gunslingers of the American Arena League kicks off their inaugural season this Saturday, March 13th, against the North Texas Bulls. San Antonio Gunslingers football at the San Antonio Rose Palace, just off I-10 on Bernie State Road. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at SanAntonioGunslingers.com. Be a part of the action this Saturday for the Gunslingers' first game. Get your tickets now at SanAntonioGunslingers.com or check them out on Facebook.
What's up, San Antonio? It's March, and that can only mean one thing. It's time for the biggest St. Paddy's Day party ever, Part 6. Chip Ingram here from the Root Pub and Angry Elephant, and let me tell you something. It's been one hell of a year, San Antonio, and even the governor agrees you've earned the right to celebrate. So we're going to throw an outdoor parking lot party with DJs, food trucks, and adult beverages as far as the eye can see. Wednesday, March 17th, doors open at 11 a.m. The Root Pub and Angry Elephant at the corner of Redland and 281. See you there.
It's time for some straight talk. Your tax return could look different this year, but you're still going to hear a lot of noise about how to spend it. So when the big carriers tell you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get the $45 unlimited talk, text, and data plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense and tune in to Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Of course, we have everything you need to take on that oil change. It's easier than you think. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 synthetic high-mileage motor oil and an STP extended life oil filter for just $32.99. And you can get it all fast, your way. Just order online with our free same-day store pickup or next-day delivery. Getting your job done just got easier. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
It is the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, ESPNSA.com. Michael Jimenez in for Rob Thompson. I'm Jason Minix. There's been a story, Michael, that's kind of developed a little bit throughout the day, and it's going to be one that gets legs. But I hadn't seen enough. And even now, other than to say, "Are you kidding me?" and I can't believe this guy, and fired immediately, obviously. But in a high school basketball game broadcast in Oklahoma yesterday, the broadcasters go to commercial break. They assume their microphones are off. Rule number 1 in broadcasting: always assume you're around a hot mic. And typically it's the cuss word that might slip out that, you go, oops, and you get called on the carpet. Well, this guy who needs to be fired immediately, one of the teams kneeled and they were talking about that. A lot of F words in there, and then the F word and then the N word. One of his broadcast partners apparently is a head football coach there in the state of Oklahoma, and originally was attributed to having said that. That is not the case. The original story, I was surprised, did not name the broadcasters. Now, this broadcaster has since been named and has come out. Apparently a married man, has 2 kids, describes himself as a family man, was at one point a youth pastor, very religious man. But he blames, and I don't know, but if you suffer from diabetes, please correct me if I'm wrong, but in his apology letter, he blames his low blood sugar as the reason for the words that were coming out of his mouth that were extremely racist.
Yeah, no, I don't buy it, man. I don't buy it. And when you take a look at it, I understand that there are people who don't like it if people kneel. I get that. And I understand the people who do kneel and the reasons why they do that. I understand it's a debate that'll never be resolved. But the fact of the matter is that was not diabetes. That was not blood sugar. That was venom. That was anger towards somebody. And it was hatred towards teenagers, for crying out loud.
And dude, that's who you are. I mean, that is who you are. Don't tell me in your apology letter, quote, I do not believe that I would have made such horrible statements absent my sugar spiking. And again, if there's a side effect to sugar spiking that I'm unaware of, I'm willing to be educated. I'm just own it. Don't blame other things. I mean, we're at the point now. It's almost like the Myers-Leonard comments. And he said he didn't know what it was, the word was, or what it meant. Well, you knew it was a negative connotation in the way you used it. You knew it wasn't a compliment.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, don't. I didn't know. Oh, my blood sugar was spiking. I mean, it's we're now at the point where somebody says something, does something, you get the automatic standard PR form letter statement with your apology, and they're asking for forgiveness, and I've embarrassed everybody. And again, this dude won't work again. But blood sugar, you're blaming racist comments on your blood sugar, and the blatantly in which he said it, thinking he was off mic. It's I don't know about the rest of the broadcast, but from all accounts that I've seen, he didn't seem to be disoriented during the call, while he knew he wasn't in a commercial break. This is it's ridiculous is what it is. We're going to talk some Spurs with Evan Closky from Kent's 5 next. Spurs Magic tonight down at the AT&T Center with fans. Game night San Antonio brought to you by Mellow Mushroom next here on ESPN San Antonio.
Hoops and Hype, the post-up with Brendan Medina and Jack Thompson. A basketball anthology. The culture from the court to kicks for the discerning fan. The post-up. Fridays at 7 after the Blitz. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Most of us don't think about our brakes until we need to think about our brakes. Jason Minix here for NewBrakes.com, NUBrakes.com. They are a mobile brake shop. They will come to you to fix your brakes. We all like things to be easy and convenient, and New Brakes has done that with brake repair. They will come to your home or office or wherever you are. Busy work schedule, no problem. Relaxing at the house, no worries. New Brakes comes to you, and they will repair your brakes while you do whatever it is you do. At New Brakes, they only fix brakes. New Brakes provides convenient and affordable brake repairs without the normal upsells traditional repair shops love to give you once your car is up on the lift. Most repairs are done in less than an hour. New Brakes uses premium brake parts, and they back all repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. Go read all the 5-star reviews. If your brakes are squeaking or grinding, go to NewBrakes.com and schedule your repair. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN. NewBrakes.com. That's NUBrakes.com.
It's time for some straight talk. Look, we all know the sound. It happens. Your phone. You fumble it, crack it, splash it. Well, Straight Talk Wireless's new Platinum Unlimited plan includes phone protection that covers those kinds of mishaps. Just $65 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data, plus more features, like 20 gigs of hotspot and 100 gigs of cloud storage, all on the best networks. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
See mobile protect terms and conditions at Asurion.com/Straight Talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
If you're a bacon lover, I've got great news for you. This is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. Our authentic dry-cured bacon is now available at grocery stores near you. We make it the old-fashioned way with the finest pork bellies in our legendary spice blend. We don't pump it full of water or chemicals like other brands. All you get is thick, savory slices of delicious bacon. I hope you'll give it a try, and if it's not the best bacon you've ever eaten, I'll give you your money back. Kielbasa Smoked Meats, slow crafted in Texas since 1949.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Better sleep means a better you. That's why Mattress Firm came up with the Rest Assured promise, featuring the best mattresses from America's best mattress brands. Like the Temper Breeze collection, available now, with a $300 instant gift good towards your choice of sleep accessories. Visit with our sleep experts in-store, online, or by phone to find the right bed for you. Only at Mattress Firm, America's #1 Tempur-Pedic retailer. Offer valid with qualifying purchase. Restrictions apply. Valid at participating locations only. For offer details, visit mattressfirm.com/sale.
Want to hear a secret? If your family loves game night as much as mine, you should check out Kohl's. You can find amazing deals and new ways to keep everyone entertained. I got board games for under $20, 20% off a popcorn maker because snacks are a must, a $15.99 blanket for cuddling up. Then I also got an extra 20% off and Kohl's Cash. So, yeah, pretty sure I already won game night. Select styles, 20% offer ends March 14th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
As a minimalist, paying less for insurance is more.
Nice place. Is your house a bubble?
It's a dome. I find corners unnecessary.
At Liberty Mutual, that's how we feel about overpaying for insurance.
But I do miss having shelves.
What would you put on them?
Nothing, obviously.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Nice work. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. Taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix?
Yeah, the patented key ingredient is testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels.
Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, and by the way, she'll like it too. Text CAR to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Text CAR to 42424 and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text CAR to 42424.
Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Manu Ginobili.
This is Matt Bonner, a.k.a. the Red Rocket, a.k.a. the Red Mamba, a.k.a. the Sandwich Hunter.
Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
Spurs taking on the Orlando Magic tonight down at the AT&T Center. First game this year with fans at the AT&T Center. It is Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. Michael Jimenez in for a vacationing Rob Thompson. I'm Jason Minix. Before we get to Evan Closky, congrats again to the Cole Cougars winning the state championship earlier today down in the Alamo Dome. I really thought Shaq would come into town for this one, but he did FaceTime the team afterwards, from what I'm told, from a Cole Cougar. So that is very cool that while he wasn't here in person, he was paying attention and he knows what happened with his alma mater. Let's talk with Evan Closky about the Spurs. Evan from Channel 5, appreciate you taking the time on a Friday night. Are you going to the game tonight, Evan?
I am not, and I do want to reiterate, shout out to Cole as well. Heck of a job by them. They didn't get to play last year in the finals. I am so proud of those guys.
And for them to have it taken away because of COVID last year, to get back, I mean, you know, so many times that's your one opportunity. And for some of the guys, you know, it's high school. You're a senior, you don't get a chance. But for them to run it back, and quite frankly, they won in a blowout in a state championship game. It was impressive.
Yeah. And also, by the way, they lost their 5-star recruit. He transferred out. 2 of their best seniors transferred out, or they graduated. So, I mean, it's just an amazing job and a great story.
Certainly a great story. Great story for the Spurs with fans back in the building tonight. I saw, and we talked with Jeff McDoald from the Express News earlier. He's going just to see. Nothing changes from a media standpoint. Everything's still on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious for other media types. Are you going to go through the hassle of going down in person?
Tonight, no. Eventually, I am going to go down there. Tonight, we're allowing our news side to kind of cover the fact that fans are coming into the building, and this is a momentous occasion. We're about a full year now since we've had fans in the AT&T Center, and of course, it's going to be limited to 3,200 fans. But nonetheless, they're gonna have their day to be sports people. We're going to allow them to interject in the world, have fun, and then as the season progresses, we'll be there in the AT&T Center just to be a part of the action, and maybe get some good seats with a lot of space now in the AT&T Center, more than usual.
Hey, Evan, Mike Jimenez here. Not only will there be a lot of room in the stands, there's also going to be a lot of room on the Magic bench. I liked your tweet earlier. You tweeted earlier, you showed the whole roster, and then you highlighted which players are actually playing. Talk about how shorthanded the Magic are tonight.
Oh, man. I mean, look, they called me up earlier today and they said, hey, we need a 10th body. Can you suit up? And I'm like, look, my days are over. But they got no Cole Anthony, James Bennett.
Wait. They were looking for 5'7" guys and they didn't call me. I'm pissed now. I'm offended.
I don't know about you, Minix, but I'm scrappy. Okay, I got a history.
And I think I tower over you. I'm still offended.
All right, you and me on the basketball court, one of these days.
Let's go.
But yeah, man. I mean, outside of Vooch, honestly, and like Dwayne Bacon, I mean, this team is really going to be scratching and clawing. Now, having said that, I know every Spurs fans out there is like, we should mow them down. And remember, DeMar DeRozan is not playing in this game.
Sure.
So yes, while San Antonio should absolutely win this game, there are no excuses to not win this game. If they lose, it's a terrible, terrible loss. Having said that, the offense for San Antonio is still not going to be great. So don't expect this grandiose blowout sort of game. I expect the Spurs to do a Spurs thing, which is where they're chipping away. You're wondering, why is this a game? And then eventually they should pull away with its depth. The big key here is really those secondary lineups that we talk about all the time with San Antonio. I have no idea how Orlando is going to match that, and Vooch is going to have the game of his life. And it's easy to game plan for Vooch now that he's really the only guy in the court you don't want him shooting the ball.
And the question is, who's going to defend him?
Yeah, well, that is a good question. If it were me, I would like Šamanić. I really would like Šamanić on him. He's the perfect frame, and Jakob Poeltl is a great rim protector, not a great body for Vooch. He's going to just shoot as many threes as he wants. So, I think with DeMar out, I would personally like, Šamanić. I'm sure Lyles is more of a guy who would get that assignment. We didn't get to see him that much. Rudy Gay, I'm sure they're going to cross over some minutes. He'll be able to handle that. But
Rudy Gay did not handle big men last game against Dallas.
No, yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, he's still getting. The biggest surprise for me is how much pop road guys like Rudy coming back when they just don't have you can condition all you want, but game shape is totally different and getting in those games. So, I'm surprised he played him 30 minutes, and I'm surprised we didn't see more Lyles, and we saw really no Šamanić either. So, I think we need to get back to at least getting them some time. I'm not saying to play Lyles or Šamanić 25, 20 minutes here, but really, while you're trying to recondition your team, give them 10, give them 12, something like that. And Šamanić is just a perfect matchup for Vooch. We're not going to see him, but he really does match up perfectly with him.
Oh, it was so disappointing, man. Just watching that game, I mean, not only was there a lid on the rim in the fourth quarter, but looking at the lineups, I love Patty Mills. Okay, I think Patty Mills should one day have his jersey retired.
Huh?
But the thing is, I do not like seeing him out there 33 minutes a game, and he was guarding Luka Doncic on multiple possessions in the fourth quarter. I like this game right here, and let me know what you think about this. This is a game right here because obviously there's no LaMarcus because he's not on the team anymore. There's no DeMar, and there's a chance that the Spurs will have DeMar DeRozan move on during the offseason. I think this is a really good test here for the Spurs because They don't have LaMarcus to fall back on. They don't have DeMar to fall back on. This is what the team would look like without those two players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to be honest, we've seen it a little bit, and my concern is that the offense never looks good without DeMar in there. Because here's the thing, not even with DeMar scoring points, who, by the way, was like the only engine offensively speaking in that last game, but he is the guy who distributes to the three-point line. He is the one that sets up the team's three-pointers. So I would not be shocked if San Antonio has like 8-7 three-pointers tonight, and that's all they get. So, in these situations, I really think it amplifies how important a guy like DeMar DeRozan is. Having said that, Derek White, DeJounte Murray, like, it's time for you guys to be the engines. And Derek, just like he did when he came back from his injury a month or so ago, his first game back looked terrible offensively. So, it's going to take a little bit of time for him to get himself back in shape. And also Devin Vassell will be back for a little bit tonight, we think. So, I'm excited to see the baby Spurs out here. This is the future. Having said that, I'm still a guy who is in full support of giving DeMar his bag and understanding that, the offense just isn't the same without him.
I 100% agree, and that's a nice transition as we visit with Evan Closky from Ken's 5 here on Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. You think about the trade deadline coming up, and, all week, a lot of trade rumors involving, Orlando, and apparently Orlando wants a lot of young talent. And, you've seen Derek and DeJounte or DeJounte in there. I'm not getting rid of one of those young kids if I don't know that DeMar DeRozan is committed to San Antonio. If I know, and that's the one thing, none of us in the media have any clue which way DeMar DeRozan is thinking when it comes to free agency. But the Spurs should have an indication. And if they've got some sort of verbal commitment from DeMar that he would sign maybe a 3-year deal here, then maybe you can look at a trade like that with one of those young guys. Or if they know he's having fun, but he's gone, then you can't afford to give up some of those young guys. I mean, it really, and that's the hard part in speculating what the Spurs might do, because obviously they have a better read on what DeMar is thinking than we do.
Yeah, and it's really tough, right? Because in one side, you say, look, if DeMar is not committed to coming back to San Antonio, and by all indications, I think he loves playing for Popovich. I think he loves the Spurs organization. I personally don't know if San Antonio is the place for him. Like, I think he's an LA guy. I think he would love to be back on the West Coast. Having said that, it is obvious that San Antonio will give him – no other team will give him the spotlight that San Antonio will. He is the star in this team. He is the engine. No other team is going to make him that. He will be the third option on another team. So, but there are a bunch of people I'm saying, look, if he's not going to come back next year, trade him. And I hear that. Yep. But on the other side, it's like, look, these young guys, they need playoff experience. Every single coach executive will talk about how important playoff experience is in the NBA. And DeMar would be a huge catalyst to get them there, to get that experience. So I think there is value in keeping DeMar if there's not some grandiose offer out there to take. Having said that, you're right. Where the wind blows with DeMar is uncertain. I think that DeMar certainly would get his most money from San Antonio if you just look at the landscape of who has money, who doesn't, and who would be willing to pay him the most. There's guys like Rudy Gay will move on, and I don't think the Spurs will bring him back. So, there's going to be tons of money for DeMar and also Patty and also another piece.
And I will say on Evan, where I disagree with you, while I do 100% agree on that playoff experience for the young guys, if the Spurs know that he's not re-signing, and I'm talking about DeMar, then I try to get something for him, and playoff experience be damned. We've seen enough from these young guys that they're good enough to stay around 10. And with this play-in format this year, 7 to 10, you still have an opportunity to get playoff experience. But as a 7th seed, you're not guaranteed in the postseason. And with DeMar right now, they are sitting at the 7th seed. So they're not guaranteed a first-round series with the Clippers or the Lakers or those additional 4 games that could be there if they don't win the play-in tournament.
Yeah, and look, as I said, if a team comes to San Antonio and says, we will give you a really young player who's really good and a pick for DeMar DeRozan, yeah, see you later. You got to pull the trigger on that one. I'm just saying I'm not somebody like in typical Spurs fashion here. If you don't give me an offer I can't refuse, I'm just going to keep DeMar. Like now it comes to LaMarcus, obviously you have no leverage. He's got to go and you're just going to do right by him. A guy like Rudy Gay is somebody who I would definitely entertain. I don't need this all-world offer for Rudy, but I would like a little bit for him. But with DeMar, it's just one of those where I put my boots in the ground and say, look, if you don't meet me here, I'm not meeting you over there. And that's the kind of talent that he is for San Antonio, and he is a huge engine for this team. So I'm not somebody who says you have to trade him if he's telling you he's going to be leaving. But if there is a trade out there and it looks good, then yeah, you gotta let him go.
With all this trade talk, do you think the Spurs young core have any players that are untouchable at the moment?
I mean, for me personally, Derek White, no way. DeJounte Murray, no way. I think we're seeing Luka Šamanić a little bit to where we don't want to trade him because it's like, whoa, this guy can play a really good defense and he's built like a unicorn. Nah, we got to keep him and see a little bit more before we give up on that project. The one guy who I think everybody would be okay dealing, and I love the guy, Lonnie Walker. I just think the team is built with a lot of guards. I think at worst he's going to be a 3-and-D prospect. So that's not a bad worst, by the way. He has value. And tonight without DeMar DeRozan, I guarantee you he puts up like 15 to 20 points, somewhere in that range, because that's what he's been doing. Having said that, I think he is a guy where if you had to meet a team halfway and make a big deal happen, Lonnie seems to be the guy in that young core where I would be willing to part with him. But mostly, look, I'm keeping the squad. There's really not anybody in that group outside of maybe a Lonnie or a Trey Jones, if somebody was really interested in him, that I would be willing to part with. The Spurs are built well. They are. They need another big man, and they need some sort of wing who can score a la Rudy Gay, but maybe a little bit younger, a little bit more versatile on defense.
Evan Closky from Ken's 5 with us here on ESPN San Antonio. That's where I disagree with you on the untouchables. Now, the only untouchable on my list would be Keldon Johnson, just because he's been so good and he's so young. But to get quality in return, you're going to have to give up something. So, say you get a 7-footer from Orlando and they want DeJounte. I think I do that deal. I don't do DeJounte and Derek, but I would do DeJounte if I've got some assurances from DeMar DeRozan that he's coming back. And I think everybody is. I don't know that you're married to any of them. You're much kinder about Luka. I would trade him right now if I could. And Lonnie seems to be the popular piece because as Spurs fans, we're tired of saying okay, when. But if you're the other general manager, if you're giving up a star quality player, and what you want in return is a DeJounte. If you're Brian Wright, you can't say, well, no, he's protected. I mean, you know what I mean? There's nobody outside of Keldon that I'm really married to at this point when it comes to trading for quality. Not making a trade to make a trade, but making a trade that could make this team better for the next decade.
So, and here's my thing to that. San Antonio doesn't have a history of bringing in free agents, right?
Sure.
LaMarcus Aldridge, I hope fans are very thankful for the time he came here. When he decided to come to San Antonio, it was monster news. Nobody did that.
He chose us. And you were in Oregon at the time when that happened, weren't you? Working out there in Oregon and
in Washington, yeah.
And you remember the fallout there. Portland couldn't believe that he didn't re-sign.
Yep. No, they did. Yeah, and they were pissed, and rightfully so. And that's fandom. That's what happens. But LaMarcus wanted to chase a championship. He trusts the Spurs, and it's not his fault that Kawhi left. That threw out the whole dichotomy of the team and the future. But when looking at DeJounte, when looking at Derek, these are guys who are on your payroll 3 to 4 years down the future. They're locked up. And when you have that young talent who have come up through the organization, keeping those guys on long-term deals, on very manageable deals, is something you need to take into account when looking at other deals. Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, they're under contract for a while. Lonnie, His contract's going to be coming up soon. Now, he's not going to cost much, but you're also coming to a point where it's like, okay, I mean, how much are we talking here? It's just, and then when you mentioned Vooch, it's like, look, I understand why Vooch makes sense for San Antonio, right? You pretty much put him into the LaMarcus Aldridge offensive scheme. He's a guy who will step out, space the floor. You have a team of drivers. He makes perfect sense within the offense. But again, he's not an all-class defender. I think he's just sort of a different face and a younger LaMarcus where, look, he'll put up a ton of points, but is he really going to tip the scales and bring the Spurs over the top? I don't think so. The Spurs' identity in the future, they are going to give up they'll average at their peak, I guarantee you, 104, 105 games a season. Something that we used to see back in the day. So, I think that is when you look at this team and where they're going, you are looking at a suffocating defense. So if you trade DeJounte or if you trade Derek White, not simultaneously, but if you trade one of them, your defense now just got a lot worse because when they're at their peak, they are going to be so tough, especially with Jakob involved.
It's going to be interesting to see how things play out. If you are following Spurs on Twitter, you need to make sure Evan's a part of that mix on Twitter at Evan Closky. Great Twitter follow for Spurs coverage and everything else. Evan, always appreciate the time, especially on a Friday, my friend.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm excited to see the game tonight. Appreciate it as always.
Evan Closky from Ken's 5 here on Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. We'll talk more about the Spurs and Magic as we continue here on ESPN San Antonio.
Sundays are for the grill. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 in the morning to 1. Chop it up and grill with former and current Rock the Mic champs Michael Jimenez and Quinn Hudson. The Sunday Sports Grill, 11 to 1 every Sunday.
Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, your home to 7 days a week happy hour. Come eat, drink, and socialize safely at all 4 Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar locations. And now you can join us bright and early at the newest location, Slackers Medical Center, now opens at 7 a.m. to serve our valued medical community. Nurses, doctors, frontline workers, and staff, we thank you. Slackers Medical Center at Fredericksburg and Medical Drive. Visit slackersbarssa.com for more info. Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar, now with 4 area locations to quench your thirst.
It's time for some straight talk. Tax returns could look a little different this year. So when the big carriers start trying to get you to splurge on the latest nonsense, just tune it out. With Straight Talk Wireless, you can get a Samsung Galaxy A51 for just $199. Plus, get our unlimited plan with no contract on America's best networks for up to 50% less. Tune out the nonsense. Tune in to Straight Talk Wireless. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
Savings may vary. See straighttalk.com.
Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, pump, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
When you post your first job for free on LinkedIn Jobs, we search a network of over 700 million professionals so you can find the quality candidate you need quickly. Marketing wizards? Found them.
Software engineers?
Found.
That project manager I could never seem to hire?
And found. How? Well, LinkedIn Jobs matches your roles with candidates with the right skills and experience and puts your jobs in front of them. So, looking for an easier way to make that next hire? You found it. Post your first job for free and get started at linkedin.com/CBS. That's linkedin.com/CBS. Terms and conditions apply.
You're a weekend do-it-yourselfer who likes to tackle the big jobs, tree removal, digging, hauling, or cleaning up a job site. For those big jobs, you need big equipment, and at Ewald Kubota, renting equipment is a breeze. Dependable Kubota construction equipment, tractors, zero-turn mowers, or utility vehicles. Get it done right and get it done fast. Right now, all new rental customers get a 10% discount off their first rental. This is the Ewald Kubota way of saying welcome. For a store near you, visit ewaldkubota.com.
Get ready for real all year long at SeaWorld San Antonio. Real adventure with heart-pounding coasters. Real connection with unique animals. And real fun with incredible events and live entertainment throughout the year. See how we're making your visit safer with limited capacity and more at SeaWorld.com. Buy a SeaWorld pass, get an Aquatica pass free. Hurry! Offer ends March 21st. Restrictions apply.
Let me tell you why I love my Spurs, man.
Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Matt Bonner.
This is Manu Ginobili. Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
Spurs Magic tonight at the AT&T Center with fans who will all be asked to wear their mask while down at the AT&T Center for the game tonight. Game Night San Antonio brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. You call, we are going to get you on. Gabe has dialed up the Kia Bossa Bacon phone lines at 210-656-ESPN. He's been on hold for far too long. Gabe, appreciate your patience. What's up, man?
No problem at all. Happy Friday, guys. Just listening to you guys talk. Jason, I respect your sports opinion more than 99% of the world. I agree with you 75% of the time. I think whatever you have to do to keep Nikola Vucevic in San Antonio, do not let him get on that plane tonight. Keep him. I know you don't want to give up too many pieces, but look, we can replace our young guards. There's some good guards at Illinois and Florida State. We can replace them. Big men are hard to find. I watch a lot of college basketball, more than the average man, because of my betting interest. And every team has a 6'11", 7-foot guy, and I'm sorry to say they all suck. They're not good.
Gabe, I'm with you. Outside of your kidnapping plot here, I'm with you, except I'm not going to give up both Derek and DeJounte. Not both of them. And not if I don't know what DeMar DeRozan is going to do. I mean, I look at when Greg Popovich looks through his Big Man magazine and that centerfold from Orlando comes up, it goes up on the fridge. I mean, he is a kind of guy that Greg Popovich wants. I get that, but at the right cost. Spurs have to win tonight. We got about 30 seconds left. They got to figure out how to get to 110. I think that's the magic number for the Spurs to get out of there with a win tonight, is get to 110 and get a much-needed win against a very depleted Orlando team. Michael Jimenez, happy birthday. Great work over the last couple of days. Shots at the Rue Pub later. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., it will be Pledge Hungover on Saturday morning.
Hey, it's Dan Cialana from the Thursday Night Wrestling Show, Down for the Count, every Thursday night at 7 p.m. right here on ESPN San Antonio. And the station asked me to make a promo for the show, get more listeners. But I'll be honest with you, I'm working from home right now with a new